Welcome, everyone, to another episode of The Testing Room, where three of the gaming industry's best video game consultants who have never actually consulted on a video game bring you new topics each and every week. I'm Jake, aka Alex's more handsome doppelganger.
I am Christian, aka Sudovoodoo45.
I am Preston, aka Funkadelic Jedi.
I
could
little golf clap to the.
By the way, I actually had that memorized.
Yeah,
not written down anywhere.
Seriously.
Nice.
I'm like your guys' biggest fan.
Yeah.
Well, you're a fan too. But yeah, it's as you guys heard, Alex is off to Japan, and he's out there enjoying himself.
The glorious Nippon right now.
No, is that where he's at? I didn't know exactly where he's at right now.
No, that's the name of the country. Yes, it's in Japan.
Okay.
We said the same thing.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't know. Things Preston doesn't know. Just a giant list of them, trust me, probably. But yeah, we are out, Alex, today. We brought in our homie Jake, as if he doesn't do enough for us already, DMing the D&D, which we love doing, which we will probably do again soon. But yeah, we're going to bring him in. And we're going to talk a little bit about gaming collections. But before we do so, I do want to start off with Preston's Comment Corner, which is what we should be starting off with before the weeks every week. I don't really have too much to comment on other than have a fantastic time, Alex, and see a fucking Gundam.
He's not going to do it. I told everybody last show that he's not going to do it. And I am continuing that bet with myself to say he won't do it because I know him. And even if, I'll put it like this, even if he found himself somehow less than 10 minutes from Yokohama, he still would not go because he'd be like, I don't know. We've got all these other things going on and it'll be impossible for me to actually make it out there for some indescribable amount of reasons and all these long lists of things. Also, I just say this is the first time that we've had an episode where I'm not the one who's gone and that Alex is the one who's gone. So yeah, and I can just like say all the outlandish shit that he does, and nobody can stop me. I can say whatever I want.
I can stop you, but I'm not going to.
You can stop me, but you're not going to.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I actually think he is just wanting to hurt you because we have access to a photo album that he shared with us, so we can kind of see like when he updates photos for like all the cool things he's doing. He's uploading a bunch of photos. It's nice to kind of see. But
it's all my idea, by the well,
Oh, was it? Same thing with your honeymoon kind of.
I did it for Ireland. Yeah.
Well, I couldn't pay attention to it because I didn't know how to work iPhones. But yeah, fair enough. But I do know how to do it now, so therefore I'm watching it, and I think he's just hurting you because he's been into a gaming shop and like I guess a comic shop, and there's been no sights of any type of Gundams or mechanized robots, and I think he's like avoiding them and not taking photos on purpose.
He's not the only person I met a single other person the other day, and So I've already known them, but they had finally confided in me that they did not like mechs, which is another symptom of some disease that this person and Alex must share.
Wait, I saw this on Discord, didn't I?
No.
No? Okay.
No, you were in the Discord call where I outed that person, though.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. And it's just a shame. I don't know. It's clearly a disease that is now starting to grow. I don't know what it is that makes people not like giant robots. It
hope it's not contagious.
Beats me, but
yeah. I mean, like Robotech and Voltron are two of my favorite things. So
nothing but thoughts and prayers for these people that are suffering from this disease. Apparently,
Pacific Rim are not great movies, but I love watching them because those mechs are fucking dope.
Dude, the first one is a fantastic.
Yeah, the first one's pretty
good. Yeah, I
will say the first one's good. Yeah,
it's not fantastic. Yeah, it's good. But yeah, I don't have anything else for Comment Corner unless you guys heard anything. No. All right. Well, let's go into the weeks then. I don't know if anyone personally wants to get started off, but you know what? We can start with Jake. Jake, you probably got a big one. It's not just your week. You're gonna have to talk to us about video games because we don't talk about video games when you come on with D&D. So you've been holding it all in.
I know, right? I know. Well, first of all, you guys can make fun of me if you want to, but today I saw a movie. One of my fun guilty pleasures. I love the Fast and the Furious franchise.
There you go.
That's like my bad movie comfort franchise.
Hey, you don't have to defend for liking family, okay?
Yeah.
All right. There's
I won't.
Yeah.
I'm not. I will never do that. But I saw Fast X. It was. I don't know. I don't know if you guys are fans, but whatever you've seen of it, multiply it by 10, and that's
Intensity,
the batshit insane movie that is Fast X.
I believe this is the one where they were supposed to go to space, correct?
They technically went to space in the last one, but it's not.
Oh.
See, people think like, oh, they're like racing on the moon. No, like 2 single characters like leave the atmosphere, and like that's it. So,
okay.
No, it's just. It's
So then I guess,
dumb in all the
Do
best
they
ways.
manage to up the ante in this one then?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
how do you go above space? Like,
A rolling, flaming bomb through Rome, nearly destroying the Vatican.
okay.
I mean, they'll find
Yeah.
a way.
Yeah.
They brought Jason Momoa. Is that not
Yeah, no,
enough for you?
he was the best part. He
I
is
love that, man.
insane, like hilarious, a really good villain. Really good villain.
Awesome.
I heard that this is supposed to be the end. Or I don't know where I heard that. I think I might.
3 movies for this one?
Yeah, it's part 1 of the final trilogy.
Yeah.
Oh my! Now, okay, so then is it going to be like Fast X Part 2, or are they just going to go
I think
11?
so. No,
Okay.
I think
10-3.
it'll be part 2 and part 3. But
That is,
because,
I didn't
dude,
know that. Jesus Christ!
the movie ended, and I was like, but there's so many things left unanswered. Like they have a lot to do. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts.
Does Vin Diesel have children?
Mhm.
They must just be stoked. Like
I
every
mean,
single time one of these movies comes out and then it continues to break whatever financial records, like
sure.
they must just be like, I will never experience life's hardships.
Christian,
Like,
I know, right?
You
Yeah,
also
I know.
forgot he's getting Marvel money and Disney money.
Oh right, because he's Groot.
He is Groot.
Yeah. You know what movie he did that is really fucking good though? Let's all say it together. 1, 2, 3. The
Chronicles
Chronicles of
of
Riddick.
Riddick. Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
That is
And
such a
you
good
know what
sci-fi movie.
game he helped develop? Like he was part of that, or he was part of the studio that helped do Escape from Butcher's Bay.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
that game actually is really fucking
Have you
good.
not played it, Jake?
No.
Bro,
Fucking love it. If I find a copy,
You
I'll
would
send
love
it
it.
right to you.
Yes.
Probably.
I'll
We'll
let me
check the
Google
price
it
later.
so that I can look at it later.
Yeah, check the price of that for us later. It's because I'm curious now. Like, that's probably on Xbox backwards compatible.
I played it on GameCube back in the day.
I'm pretty sure. It's on Xbox.
I've definitely seen the cover before, but no, I've not
yeah.
played it. No, that's cool though.
I used to want to get the contacts that made it like mirror kind of
Yeah.
thing. I used to want those contacts.
Legit, but I totally agree. That especially that movie rules. Like
Yeah.
very
Pitch Black.
very good
Pitch
movie.
Black's not bad either. Yeah, those are very cool. Skittish tunes. I hear that in my head like constantly.
Yeah.
Skittish.
Did you guys know
tunes.
that he's also like a massive D&D fan
Oh, yeah.
and player?
Oh yeah.
That's cool too. People shit on him for these movies, but I bet he's cool as shit
dude.
to hang out with.
Didn't he do like what was that action figure commercial he did? Like land sharks? I had one of them. I forget what they're called. It was like the badass
Yeah.
like shark dudes action figures, and he did a.
I feel like people really need to like get a grip when it comes to some of that stuff. Like they do, like Adam Sandler gets a lot of the same treatment, right, for all of his shitty comedy movies. And then all of a sudden he'll release something like Uncut Gems or whatever, and they're like, "Oh man, this motherfucker can act." And like he's said in multiple interviews, like, yeah, like he's like in multiple interviews he said like, and it's such a flex too, where he's like, "Look, man, whether you like these or not, like most of these movies are the ones that I make just so that I have an excuse to make stuff with my friends and we can all hang out and do stuff together.
laugh.
It's fun."
Yeah.
And a lot of people end up getting joy out of it. If you don't, that's cool. He's like, but sometimes I got to take these roles of these movies to like remind motherfuckers that I can act. And I was like, preach. Like,
Right.
It is my
Yeah,
job.
like-
Yeah.
talk your
And
shit,
also,
man.
all those shitty movies that people hate on make millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah,
so
dude, like if like you can say that they're bad or what, it's like it's fine that you don't like them, but clearly a lot of other people do. So
Yeah.
let this man make his money, man. Like don't
Doing just fine.
don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did see that today. That was fun.
Good.
And again, the movie theater experience, as we've all talked about, is just so bad. But there's just certain things that I got to see there at
You just gotta have that
11:45 on a
experience.
Monday, and hope that
Yeah.
the crowd's okay.
Hopefully nobody's there.
I'm a
Yeah.
Tuesday guy. That's one my day off.
Yeah, well, I would like to. Well, actually, I wouldn't like to go because it's the $5 Tuesday at Ronnie's, and you just know that place is packed. So
Yeah.
I'm actually glad that I don't go Tuesdays.
You'd be
But-
surprised how many people you don't see there. Yeah.
So then I'm assuming your next thing is you're on your 15th playthrough of Sonic Frontiers as a massive Sonic fan.
Yeah.
Dude, I actually haven't started that game.
I was saying, I haven't heard you talk about it yet.
What's wild is I've heard a lot of people say that it's like, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Like
I have too.
Yeah, I want to get to it eventually.
I think it would
Yeah.
be definitely up your alley, Christian. Like the things I've seen about that game,
Just to know, I just want to know.
and I just don't want to say anything because it's I want you to experience it so you can be like
When
"Ooh,
people,
do it for me."
when the Sonic community is like, "Hey guys, this game actually might be pretty good," and it's a 3D Sonic, I'm like, "Oh well, now I gotta know."
because you
I
cannot
mean,
be right.
but a few of them have been. Like Generations was really good.
Right, but now let's now look down at the years in the bottom right of your computer screen and think about how long it was ago that Generations came out.
Wasn't it 360?
It's 360 PS3, so
Yeah.
2 generations ago.
Look, that was like yesterday to me.
A
yeah.
good 15 years.
I lose all concept of time.
That's
But yeah, as far as games though,
yeah.
I play some Halo and Apex all the time. Halo still fucking sucks, but whatever. I still, whenever I get a good clip, I send it to these guys
Yep.
so that they can
Enjoy it.
tell me I'm good and I feel better about wasting so much time on such a dog shit game. But it is what it is. It's one of those things where my friends and family play it, so even when I'm raging super hard, it's like, at least I get to play with my friends, right?
There you go. Yeah.
sure.
But then obviously the big one that I've dumped obscene amounts of hours into this week is Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. People love it.
And when it came out, I was like, it's probably gonna be good, but it's probably not gonna be Breath of the Wild good. And I'm wiping the proverbial egg from my face
Yeah.
because it's way fucking better than Breath of the Wild. I think it's fantastic. And I'm not just saying, like, you guys know, the people listening probably don't. If I don't like something or it's not great, I'll fucking tell you.
Yeah.
This game's good. I'm not just one of those Zelda sympathizers that think everything is great. It's just that good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very good. I mean, we can. Is that
Going to yours? Yeah.
I was
that'd
gonna
be
say, is that where that's your end? So then, yeah, I can
Yep.
go. Then, yeah, so one of the games I've played is Tears of the Kingdom. I've played probably around 10 hours of it. I totally agree. It is. I was one of the people who liked Breath of the Wild a lot, mostly because it bucked a lot of the trends that like traditional Zelda games go through. That I was just bored with. And so I was like, well, this will just be a sequel, which is fine. I'm totally okay with that. Like I didn't have any, I know that there were some people who hated certain systems in Breath of the Wild or whatever, but I was not one of those people. I thought it was fine. So I figured it was going to be just a sequel and they were going to keep a lot of the same powers, maybe add a couple different ones, do some stuff. And I was like, all right, we'll see what they got. And man, the way that they basically subverted all expectations to be like, no, this is just something like brand new, basically. We're like, and they leaned into really heavily if people remember when Breath of the Wild had been out for a really long time, there was ways that game could break that or do things unintended that ended up being really, really cool. And in a very unlike Nintendo fashion, they were never patched. Like they were left alone to just like
That's the game.
continue to be broken, right? And so you would see people pull off trick shots from like half the map away while soaring on a shield that got physics boosted like a bazillion feet in the air, and it was all this crazy shit. And what they ended up doing and Jake, stop me if you don't agree, but what I feel like they ended up doing is they looked at those videos and just said, let's lean all the way into that. Like, let's just let people, let's like basically in the modern day equivalent, like exposing dev tools in a weird, like in a sort of way to be like, just go crazy. Like, and the stuff that you can end up creating, like all of the old powers are gone and they are replaced with brand new ones. And all of them have some sort of either creation or mobility aspect to them that allows you to just pull off some of the most wild shit ever. And in a lot of cases, what the community has done is figure out new ways to torture Koroks in this game for crimes past that they have committed.
Dude, I saw a really funny comment that was like, Tears of the Kingdom is just a morality test and we are all failing it.
Yeah, it has been. And it's funny, too, because all these clips that go extremely viral, Nintendo will never be able to use. Ever. You cannot show a bunch of Koroks strapped to a flaming cross and then, like, explode. Like, you're just never going to, like, Nintendo's going to have to be like, well, we're just gonna ignore that. Like
pretend like I don't see it.
Hey, look, Princess Zelda.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Turn to those characters from Westworld. Like, I don't see anything.
Right, but yeah, it's been crazy. I was not expecting this at all, and so it's been one of those ones where, like, whenever I sit down and play it, I just get similar to Breath of the Wild, where I think I've done one main path objective, and I've literally just spent time running around and getting the full map uncovered, doing shrines that I run into, running into random stuff. Like, that's it. Side quests here and there. Like, I just get lost doing the extracurricular stuff. But I've been a big fan so far. It's very, very good.
Okay.
The only other thing that I've played is, so I know I've talked about this before, so I'll be very quick, but with Trails, so I'm doing like an alternative story path thing where I am stopping in the middle of Trails of Cold Steel 2 to go back and play Trails to Azure that actually came out here this year.
Oh, this is the one jump, yeah.
So that I can then be fully caught up and not have anything sort of spoiled for me as far as the story would be concerned, and I'll, like, this one big revelation that's about to happen will hit for me at all times throughout this thing. And so that is where I'm at now. So I'm at the stopping point at the mid, like 50% mark for Trails of Cold Steel 2. And I have now made it all the way to the second chapter of Trails to Azure, of which there's 4. Well, 5 kind of, because there's like an intermission thing. But either way, that's where I'm at there. Yeah, so that game continues to be that game. There's nothing else to say there, or that series, I should say. It's just as fantastic as I've said. It continues to be still that great. Yeah. And the only other thing I've played is 14, trying to finish up the event that's going on right now before the new patch drops. And that is it. That's all for my week. Yeah.
All right. Well, unfortunately, I'm not playing Zelda. It's not that I don't like it or that I want to.
Fucking loser.
Calm yourselves. I wasn't super into Breath of the Wild. Like, I liked it. It was fun. I just wasn't like as hyped as everyone else was about it. I'm like, this is fine. I didn't finish Fight Ganon. I should have. I went and got all of the what do you call them? Not demigods, but
shrines.
No, not the shrines. Like the
beast. Yeah, the main path stuff.
Yeah, the beast. I got those guys, and then I'm like, I'm gonna go get the Master Sword. We're gonna get Ganon, like I've mentioned before, and then I just didn't have enough hearts for the Master Sword and just put the game down because something else came up.
Dude, I gotta say though, that Ganon fight was like way easier than half of the Sacred Beast bosses.
Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, I'm okay on it. I got a couple games coming out here and there. I just finished a game recently, so there's that I got on my belt. And then gotta save time for snapping. Gotta save time for some other games too as well. So, I don't have the time for it. Got Street Fighter 6 and Diablo 4 coming out within like a couple weeks. So my plate is full. One of these days, I might get myself a little piece of Zelda from the buffet line, but I just right now I'm gonna hold off for the moment because right now we're feasting this year in gaming for sure. The one game I did beat was Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Guys, that's a good game. Like, I was really worried that I'm not gonna spoil anything. Jake hasn't even finished Fallen Order, so there's not gonna be any spoilers here, especially for Christian 2. But I was getting to like 3/4, like getting closer towards the end of the game, and like I'm just feeling like I'm not digging where the story was going. I'm like, man, like if they're gonna end it like close to here, it's like it's just gonna feel rushed, and it doesn't feel like doesn't feel good. And then it went on. Alex, I don't know if he was trolling me. Like, he didn't respond to my text when I texted him. I'm like, hey, I'm at this point. He's like, you got about 45 minutes left. And like 3 to 4 hours later, I'm finally hitting like the last boss. And I'm like, you fucking liar, you dirty little liar. I'm like, 45 minutes,
now,
my ass. Now, to be fair,
now hold on, Preston.
Who's like, paying attention to dialogue and not skipping cutscenes. And I do like to get like a little bit of flavor of the world around me. So, I'm taking it in.
Yep, I'm glad you got there. I definitely think if it took you 3 to 4 hours watching cutscenes and listening to dialogue, it makes sense that he was able to shave that down to 45
right?
minutes.
I love where the story went. I love what happened there. There's some really cool things that happened right towards the end that I won't spoil. I can't wait for, both of you to play it and kind of experience what happens in that game. It's a lot of fun. And then did the same thing that the other one did, is kind of just leave you in that open world and kind of let you find all the collectibles and everything. And then, like, the other day I was just like, man, I don't want to start up a new game because I know I got Diablo coming and Street Fighter coming up. I'm like, I don't want to start a new game. As far as like one to actually like put in, because if I start a new game that's not a brand new game, it's going to be Final Fantasy 12,
Fire Emblem Awakening.
That one's somewhere around here. But no, I want to finish Final Fantasy 12 first because I hear that's.
And I gave him my 3DS for it, Jake. So he's got it.
It's sitting right there. I might start that up. You never know. One of these days I will. I didn't buy it and not have it fucking sit here on a goddamn shelf, all right?
Or take my fucking 3DS for it.
You want it back. You said you're going to get yourself another one anyways.
No, I didn't.
I thought you said you were going to get yourself a different one. Because I kind of talked a little bit of shit on how it looked because it was like the paint was
I'm gonna get a new shell for it.
Okay, I thought you said
to fix the casing thing, but no, there's nothing wrong with that. And then I'm gonna hack the shit out of it.
Fair. I opened it up and I think it was like your brother's face was flying around on like little like helicopter.
Oh, maybe I let him use the me thing for like dude, he was really little when he did that. So
I know. I'm like, Jesus, what the fuck is going on here? But yeah, I beat Jedi Survivor. It's really good. And then I tried to dabble. I did my GameFly dabble, and I tried this game called Blade Assault. Every once in a while, I go through GameFly's releases. I'm like, let's kind of look at some of these trailers, see if there's a game I want to fuck around with that I haven't heard about, and see if it's good. Blade Assault looks fun. It's this pixelized cybernetic future, but it's a roguelite. So you're going through levels, you're trying to kill enemies, you're going back, getting upgrades to go further through the levels. It looks great. It sounds bad. Like the background, the music is actually really good. The music is super cool. Definitely Preston style of like Persona music, jazzy with like it's just very very good. Jazzy's hip hopish kind of music. But as far as it's sounding bad, like I'm sitting there, your character literally has what looks like a lightsaber, and it uses the sound for it turning on and for it going wonk wonk like that. But then you get like a laser chainsaw. He goes to pull back and rev up the chainsaw. No sound effects. You go face the boss. He's throwing grenades everywhere. No explosion sounds. And I'm sitting here like,
I like when grenades go off.
The fuck is going on with this game? And it's happening with like different spots. It seems that they just did not make sounds for certain parts of this game. Now, it's a very small development team. The game looks great. Yeah, exactly. But if you're gonna steal Star Wars sound effects, at least steal like one of their explosions. Then, like, if you're gonna go ahead and take sound effects, that it wasn't something you made. So, it's not something I recommend picking up. So don't keep an eye out for that one, I guess. Been playing a little bit more of Dark Forces this past Wednesday. The level that got me like beat my head against the wall as far as like the platforming, which was on mission 6. I forgot there's a sprint button in Dark Forces because that sprint button is just like turbo hyperspace mode. Like, you aim at a wall, you hold that shift button, you press forward, and it's like you're there. It's just insanely fast. So if you hit the sprint and just walk forward, you tend to walk very fast, and you don't drop a whole lot, so you can just get across that chasm. And I finished it in 2 tries, rather than the 15 tries where I quit on the other night. So I went through that, got through a couple more missions. We got to level 10. I didn't go to level 10, but we got to level 10 where Jabba throws me into a pit to fight some beast with no weapons. So we'll see how that goes this coming Wednesday. But I had 2 fun little, funny kind of little moments in that stream, to where, one, there's a level to where you're kind of going through like Imperial base, and you open a door, and there's 2 stormtroopers and 1 alien, supposed to be mercenary, all facing the wall in stalls, obviously taking a piss. But that's the best way they could show a bathroom scene. And you just you open the door, and they're all facing the wall, and they all go, oh no, and they turn around and kind of start shooting at you. Turn around in the way they can for a 95 game.
I was old game development as well, like that, the way, the tricks or things they had to pull off to
There wasn't even toilets. It's just a wall texture that kind of looks like it could be used as a wall urinal kind of deal. Mm-hmm. But I got into there, I'm like, oh, that's funny. Without showing me the toilet, telling me it's a bathroom kind of scene. It's very funny. And then there was another one to where I was walking through this hallway after killing a Dark Trooper, and there's different phases of Dark Troopers, and the one beginning phase, phase 1 of Dark Trooper, is the skeleton version of the droid Dark Trooper, and he's got a blade and a shield, and he's got glowing red eyes, and I can hear him in this dark tunnel going rant, 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 walking around oh my god, where the fuck is he? Freaking out, and all of a sudden he shows up, and I outwardly scream as it happens. So feel free to check us out on the YouTubes and see myself shit my pants when a Dark Trooper comes up to me. That was a lot of fun. And then after that, we did some snapping. Sunday snapping, as per usual, has been very fun. I like the dance. It's very nice.
She forgot her Switch in here.
That's okay.
I was like, come get it.
It's fine. Not a big deal. But yeah, playing some Snap. I am now rank Vibranium.
Ooh, that sounds like a good one.
It is. Mm-hmm. So I went through,
Boy, you must be snapping.
I'm levels rank 73, 74 now. Yeah. Nice. Firing them off. And I think last time we did a recording, I was level 70, 50 something. So what they did is they dropped a new patch that changed the way the rankings work. I'll be quick since no one here gives a fuck. So it used to be every 10 levels, you get a new rank. Now it's every 7 levels, you get a new rank. And it used to be when you get that new rank, it would put you in the middle. So that way, if you drop down 1 level, you don't get fucked and go all the way back down a rank. You can keep that rank for at least 5 levels. Sure. They now reduced that to 7 levels per level, 7 cubes per level now instead of 10. So it kind of changed the dynamic on what 8 cubes mean now. If you lose or win those, I've had a win to where I've gotten 2 levels out of a full win. So it's been interesting to see kind of how that changes how I feel about betting on those cubes. And this past Sunday, like I said, it was a lot of fun. We had a couple of new followers join and follow the channel. One of them hung out with me for most of the stream, and we were just kind of going back and forth on what we should do and building a new deck, and it was a lot of fun. Spent more time on it than I thought I would.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time. So yeah, if you want to come hang out, play some card games with us, chill and shoot the shit. I've been ranking the coffee out of all of them that I drank, which is 2. But I've been buying the smaller packs of coffee so that way I can get different ones. And this last one, I don't remember. It's some Peace Love Company coffee, Colombian roast. It's so far the best coffee I've had on the stream.
I am somewhat of a coffee snob, and I love trying new ones, so I think that's great.
Yeah, that is actually cool. I like that.
I'm stealing it.
Totally keep that bit up.
Yeah, I will say that I stole that from Jeff Gersman, who every stream he does energy drinks and ranks them. But yeah, I'm just coffee's something that I get anyways. And I'll look at the smaller types, the different ones, and that'd be something fun to do. Cause every Sunday morning, I make sure to get coffee before I start the stream, and then we can kind of come on and do that. So it's been a lot of fun. Definitely follow us, twitch.tv/testing room. Oh, excuse me, testing room pod.
Yep, that's the full URL, by the way. Testing room. Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it happened.
I like to play good.
But yeah, other than that has been my week. Yeah, didn't do anything else. Oh, and while I was gone in St. Louis, I did see Jake. Hung out with him for a little bit. Got mechanics. He got to hang out with Ted for a second. It was a lot of fun. And I also
made my whole day.
Yeah, it was fun. I miss being at that shop, man. That's the one thing I miss is like going there comic pull day, which is Wednesdays, and then going to the wall of comics, finding if there's something that's new that I want to see, I want to pick up, and then see if there's any variants, and then I give back the original one to you and say I want these variants. That's what I used to love doing.
The variants, please, Jeeves.
Yes. Only the best for me, sir. The variants. Thank you. But yeah, I got to do that, and then I went to see a movie as well. I saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The past couple Marvel movies have been like a little Marvel fatigued on. I'm like, it's the same kind of Marvel movie. Like Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumanium was fine. It was another Marvel movie, but it just felt like a by the numbers, paint by numbers Marvel movie. This one I actually really enjoyed. I'm really glad that it kind of got me back into the I want to see another Marvel movie now feeling. So I'm curious to see like how I feel about the next things that come through, if it kind of puts me back into that feel or if this kind of continues that momentum. But this is I've seen the comment that this is more of a James Gunn movie than a Marvel movie, and I think they're correct on that one. That's probably why I enjoy it more.
Well, I think the next one is The Marvels, so I wouldn't get your hopes up too high.
I saw a trailer for that when I went to go see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and I think it looks very fun. And I liked Miss Marvel a lot, the show.
Oh, so this is supposed to be the next one's supposed to be Miss Marvel then.
Oh, so next
And
one is the
Captain
Marvels.
Marvel.
And
So that's why
Photon.
it's called The Marvels, because it's both of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it has Photon in it.
Here's me live on air realizing that those are two different people. Apparently,
Yes.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be the only person who's confused about it, probably.
One is
I can
called
see-
Captain
I can al-
Milquetoast, and the other's a teenage girl.
I can see Jake's pain already.
Dude, I thought Captain Marvel was bad.
That was
Bad,
fine.
bad. No, it's not fine though.
I'll take your word for it. Since you own a comic book shop and know that character a lot more than I do, I'll take your word for it. I thought it was fine, but
Like,
that's just me.
I'm glad that you enjoyed it, but it's not good.
I love that.
I will not sit here and defend it, but
Good,
yeah.
because you'll lose.
Good, because I will come to your house and burn it down. But I did enjoy it. I gave the warning to Christian and Alex. If you have a thing against any type of pets being injured, animals being injured, anything of that nature, this will trigger you. I got triggered in the first 5 minutes. I was very sad and upset. And then luckily James Gunn is very good at not being as horrible as some other movies are, to where it's like they're doing the back and forth. I think James Gunn hits that pace very well, which is why every Marvel movie has done it since Guardians of the Galaxy. He just does it the best, since it's his thing. And yeah, I think it was a really well done movie. Cosmo was adorable, and I love seeing Cosmo in there as well. And I saw it at a Alamo Draft House, which was the first time I went to one of those. I went to St. Louis's new Alamo Draft House. A lot nicer than what I expected it to be. The way they do the seating arrangements and like the tables and the way you can do the ordering, the waiters are very nice about as far as like ducking down and not being too loud. I had an overall great experience at the Alamo Draft House. The only thing that threw me off is the way they do tickets. I bought my tickets online, and I just straight up walked in there, and I'm walking up, I'm like, well, there's got to be a ticket booth somewhere, right? They have like a front like section where you can get like I guess you can get concessions, or no, you don't. You get concessions in the theater. What do you get there? I think you can buy your tickets at that one section near the bar. I thought it was just a part of the bar register. So I'm walking past there, and they're kind of looking at me. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna find the ticket person sooner or later and wave my phone and show them my tickets and stuff or whatever. But I walk all the way down there, and all I see is theaters. I'm like, who? I'm like, well, maybe I just didn't know this person. Their person was going to the bathroom who was supposed to be grabbing tickets. And I go up to the bar. I'm like, hey, who do I show my tickets to? Like, oh, you just go in. I'm like, so you don't check my ticket. You can just go in. I'm like, yep. I'm like, okay. All right. I guess if someone has someone else's seat, they'll check your ticket. Or if they, I guess they check before the movie starts, like, hey, these are the available seats. No one should be sitting in them, maybe. I'm not sure how they do it. I did not ask. I should have. That would have been interesting to kind of know. But yeah, you just straight up buy your ticket and walk in there. And as long as no one bothers you, like, you don't need to show your tickets to anybody. I thought it was very interesting.
Okay.
But it was the day before Mother's Day, Saturday, middle of the day, like a 2 o'clock kind of movie. not a shit ton of people there. People weren't talking. People weren't being super loud. I thought the sound was fantastic. The size of the theater was great. The seating size was nice and spaced out. And it's just overall great movie going experience. I enjoyed it a lot. They're like, hey,
try it.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is like, you can't go in there. If you're late, you don't get inside the theater. So there's no one showing up 5 minutes, 10 minutes late and like walking in while things are going on. Like, no, when movie time starts, the movie's starting, the doors are closed. You missed out on the movie. And they're like, yeah, we'll be glad to refund your ticket. You can come and purchase another one at a different time, but you're not getting in the theater. Like, you're not ruining everybody else's movie going experience. I'm like, all right, okay. I'm like, I like the somewhat seriousness
I do
of
like
don't
that.
ruin the
That's good.
experience.
I've heard they're very no nonsense when it comes
Yes.
to that stuff.
So I would love for Milwaukee to have an Alamo Draft House. Alamo Draft House, if you're listening, come up yonder. It's only 6 more hours north.
know you're
do have-
listening.
Yeah.
We do have one 45 minutes away in Chicago. Like, it's right.
Oh, we got
it's-
one in Chicago? Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
All right, well, I don't know if I want to drive 45 minutes to see a movie.
You drove 6 hours to see one.
I happen to be there
Either you
at the
want it or
time.
you don't, man. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want, you don't. Fair enough.
You're either about that Marvel life or you're not. I don't know what to tell
The
you.
movie theater next to your place is just fine, Christian. So far, the people
It
who've
is
been
actually
there
the Avalon is cool as shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that would be the end of my week. So, we have a topic this week that Jake brought to us, which we thought would be fantastic, seeing as how the one person on this podcast who's not a collector is gone. This was a beautiful idea for a topic, and Jake, I'll let you take it from here.
sure thing. So we all know Alex hates physical media.
We do.
He's going to come
And
back
he's
on
wrong.
and yell at all of us. But anyway, we all like collecting things. I have a collecting problem when it comes to games and comics. Yeah, I mean, you can see right
I don't know
behind
what that's
me.
behind
and
you. Yeah.
That's just my trades, not even my single issues. But
fake backgrounds.
Those Berserk volumes you got back there.
they're nice. They're really nice.
You seen the crazy bookend that somebody made for them?
Yeah, I saw it
Yeah.
on TikTok. It was nuts.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, I love that series. So yeah, I thought it would be cool if we all grabbed 10, or I think Preston and I grabbed 15 of our most expensive games in our collection. So we're just going to do it round table style. Preston and I will bounce back and forth on 15 through 11, and then Christian will join for the top 10.
Yeah.
Where we're going from least expensive to most expensive. And I guess I'll get us started off here.
Sure.
This one's on the list, I think, mostly because it's complete in box. But I've got Mario Tennis for Game Boy Color.
Very nice.
This is genuinely one of my very favorite games.
It's very good.
The story mode is so freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of got me interested in tennis when I was a kid. And I don't know, just a really good game, really good Game Boy game. So
I love seeing the Game Boy boxes because you don't see them very often because you had this like little bitty Game Boy game. You want a box to carry around, so half of us just threw them all out.
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
I did, and I hate myself for it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only did you throw them out, but you shredded
Oh,
them.
you like tore into
It was
them to
not
get
like
the game out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you were just like, let me rip right
It's
into
not
this.
going
and
back
give-
in.
I don't,
going right in
I
the
don't
trash.
care about this. I'm not keeping that. Why would I care? It's
I don't
And
know
now we're
anymore.
all adults. We're like, why?
Touch it. Don't
Yeah.
bump the corner.
Yeah, it is crazy.
But yeah. Okay. My number 15, which I actually left over there. 1 second.
Embarrassing. You had all this time to get ready.
I did have all this time to get ready, and that's the one I left over there because we thought we might have do 10 at one point, but then I forgot to. All right. Number 15 on my list. A little game we talked about earlier today, Fire Emblem Awakening.
Wait, are we dropping did you say how much it was worth, or are we just ranking them and keeping that part?
We can.
We can do that.
I got the
for
website
sure.
up. How much does your Mario Tennis cost? So,
And this is based on pricecharting.com.
Yes, that's what we're using.
That's a collection site for many multiple collections, but video games is one of them. And I do want to preface, I told these two, but I did make some tweaks because otherwise I legitimately like 6 of my top 10 would be Pokemon games, and I thought that would
That's
kind
fair.
of lame.
That's fair.
So Mario Tennis is coming in at $61.04 if it's
Very nice.
complete in box.
Yes.
Nice.
Everything. Mine, like I said, Fire Emblem Awakening, the only game on my list that I have not played. I will play it sooner or later. And is this? I don't think Awakening came with a manual. Like all these DS games, like have like manuals on the cart itself, right?
Yeah,
That's our whole thing. So yeah, this is complete in box.
I hated that about the DS.
Yeah, I mean they even put like the spot there for the insert. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. So
One of my favorites, that one.
yeah, I got scared a little bit because I opened it up, but I didn't see the cart in there. I remembered I put it in the 3DS already. So heart attack
How much
averted.
is that one?
That one is 42, complete in box. 42 bones.
All right. The next for me, of course I can't find it on my
You're
on
skipping
the
collection.
price thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're skipping. Yeah.
But anyway, one that I know Christian is a fan of because he commented on it when I posted it.
What you got?
Virtual On for the Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Got in the
is
nice little casing too.
Yes, it is. It's a mech fighting game.
I was like, Jake, is that featuring giant robots that fight?
You just triggered some people.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Each one has its own unique abilities, and it's just a super fun old school game. And I'm not going to sit here and scroll through the list to find it, but I'm sure it's around the $60 mark.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, then my number 14. Actually, I really like that I have this one. The only kind of sucky part about this one is that the second part of this game was a code. But this is the Switch version of Bayonetta 2. It comes with a digital copy of Bayonetta 1, which I own now. And whoever gets this later on will not own unless they have my Switch or my account. Because that is digital only. But yeah,
Which they'll never have because
Exactly.
you will never give up your Nintendo account considering the amount of
Star Fox 60.
horrible. Yes, yes.
And I can say that because I'm right there with him.
Which, by the way, do you want to know something embarrassing that we will? Are you going to call this out, Preston? Is this part of your thing? Are you going to, or should I do it for you? About your recent revelation about you as a
shit.
Star Fox 64 fan.
So you know how
Jake,
big of a fan
you're
I
gonna
am
have
of
to take
Star
his
Fox
card.
64, Jake,
You're going to
right?
have to take his card. I'm just warning you now.
You know I'm a big fan, right?
Yeah?
I played on like every console I get from Nintendo, right?
Oh, I know where this is going.
I was going through my
You
library.
don't have the card, do
I
you?
don't still. I've had one. I have owned one at one point, but anything like GameCube and beyond has been passed down. And I stopped doing that at a certain point, but I lost all my 64 games. I got most of them back, but some of them had just been lost to time or other people have been given away. I lost my entire GameCube collection. That was the most depressing thing in the world. But the thing was, there's a whole story behind the person I gave it to. They moved to Texas. They didn't have any video games. I'm like, here, take my GameCube collection, have fun with it. And years later, I'm like, hey, do you still have that? I wouldn't mind having it back. He's like, I gave it to some chick. I'm like, what? He's like, to be fair, her kids didn't have any Christmas. Part of me is like, fuck those kids. And fuck that mom.
kids.
Yes,
To
I
quote
don't
Michael
know these
Jordan.
kids. I don't know that woman. That's not an
But
excuse.
at least
Give me my
somebody
fucking
got
money.
some happiness out of it. But either way, that was a great collection, and it would have. There's been a lot in here off of that collection, trust me. But
The
yeah,
fact that you don't have that card, I feel like our entire friendship is a
I know
lie.
it's been a lie. Yeah, I'm even
gonna
wearing
go,
a
but
Star
he's
Fox
gonna
shirt
go-
today.
He's gonna go to the shop tomorrow and then look at your pull list and just be like, delete.
Right? He's like, yeah, you don't shop here anymore. Your sister can
Yeah,
do
you don't
comics here,
shop
but
here
you can't.
anymore.
You don't shop here anymore.
Yeah, go ahead and send me a picture of your Star Fox 64 cart, and then I'll put you back
Yeah.
on the fucking list.
Just so you know,
funny.
as soon as I found that out, I'm like, I wonder how much complete in box Star Fox 64 is. Not that bad.
Not only that, but you were looking at it at the show that we went to, and you went with something else because I remember you said, "Oh, I've already got the physical copy at home, so this
That
would
was
just
the
be
Japanese
another
version.
one." Yeah,
Yeah, but I was like my actual American version. Like it's pricey, but it'd be something I would be willing to purchase. It's one
well,
of
the
my
next
favorite games.
convention we go to, I know what you'll be looking for.
For sure.
For sure. So yeah, that was my number 14.
All right. A couple of these I don't have cases for, so I just have to.
Tisk.
I know, right?
Hey, at least he owns a Star Fox 64, man.
Fair.
Oh, sick! So the game that I thought was in my little GameCube disc thing is not in there.
But you know what you can say is you can be like, I have one of these GameCube.
Yeah, I had one
holding sleeves. Yes.
Yeah, I had a Nyko one. I miss it.
But it's Animal Crossing for the GameCube.
Oh, here, you know what? I got you, Jake. Hold on.
Oh, thank you.
Let me reach over here real quick.
Yeah. Hold on. Live on air. Let's do this
Yeah.
thing. Bam.
There you go. Player's
There
choice.
we go.
All
Thank
right.
you. Yep. A fantastic game, one that will scar you for sure, but a very good game. And that one comes in just under $50. But that's item only, and I know that I've got the case back there too. So.
All right. Number 15, 14, 13. This is the limited edition of No Man's Sky for the PS4.
That is rare.
Nice.
Because everyone talks shit on it and doesn't like it, but now everyone loves it. But yeah, it's got this really cool game cover as far as like a hard back of all that art. There's something about No Man's Sky's art that just has that cool like 80s sci-fi
You're totally correct.
kind of deal. And then inside, we got a 6 steelbook for No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know what's crazy about that is eventually whenever the world corrects itself and the internet dies and you'll be sitting there and you'll be like, I really want to play some No Man's Sky, and you put that disc in, that will be not the best experience.
That's not the experience you'd be playing nowadays.
Compared to what you could get.
Hey, we did not completely hate that experience. It's just so much better now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it has the art book as well. And then, Jake, a Dark Horse mini comic for No Man's Sky as well.
Dude, hang on to that, because in like 10 years, that's going to be a very pricey little comic.
I'm sure. Yeah.
It's
Again,
like go from
only
1
get
cent to 25 cents.
Yeah. For what it is, yeah, for sure. But yeah, No Man's Sky is going for $45.
That is true, though. I guess, Jake, that's a random question that I have just as while we're on the topics of collections is when you have, because since you're in the comic book business, we have the unique perspective of being able to ask you directly, is when you have something like that that's part of a collector's, whether it's a game or like a music, whatever, like if somebody includes a comic book as part of like a collector's edition package, does that thing, do you see, regardless of quality, do you see it go up in just because of the scarcity?
100% of the time. Yeah.
That's crazy.
The 2 examples I have, 3 examples. One, there is a super rare comic for the first Resident Evil.
Oh.
That's hella expensive because nobody knew what Resident Evil was or gave a shit.
Yeah.
Another one, there is a reprint of Spider-Man 129, which is the first appearance of the Punisher, that you could only get with a movie ticket purchase to the first Punisher movie.
Jesus.
Whoa.
And then the other one, there was a mini comic that came in the Spider-Man 2 DVD back in the day.
Jesus.
Obviously the Tobey Maguire one, not the Andrew Garfield one. So,
Yeah.
Yep. And all of those, I mean, may not be insane, but for how you got them, kind of expensive. Like, $50.
Yeah, which considering what you paid for, that's insane.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Next for me. And you guys are going to notice a trend starting with this game because Jake's a big fan of this franchise.
Oh.
It's Fire Emblem Thracia 776.
That's title.
This one I've not completed on this cartridge because it's in Japanese and I cannot read it.
Fair enough.
So I've only gotten a little bit. Yeah, thank you. I don't understand another language, but still super cool. And
Typical
that
American.
is just under $64
Okay.
for
Nice.
just the item.
And then up next, I keep on forgetting I'm up next. This is a very prized possession of mine. I acquired this, and Christian might know this game if he hears a story. There was a time to where like I had extra vacation time. I took a week off, and then I just wanted to. I played through a bunch of games. One of them was I just like went through all of Super Mario World again and kind of beat the whole game again, and kind of got all Star Worlds, all that kind of nonsense. And then my roommate at the time's girlfriend came by, and guess which file she felt like deleting when she wanted to sit down and play Super Mario World.
And before you go on, let's say I can't wait to hear the story about why she's not a bad person for doing this and how you've forgiven her and how Jake and I shouldn't hate this person for doing this.
So she
No
felt
defense. I hate her. 12 years dungeon, no
Yeah.
trials.
she's
Drawn
amazing.
and quartered.
She is an amazing person. I do love her very much. And she was very apologetic. She felt very, very bad about it. I could tell. And then
Yeah,
I
I
got-
remember
in
she was
hell.
pressing confirm on the delete.
Yeah,
button. I'm sure
exactly.
she felt really bad about it.
it's the etiquette, man. Some people just don't know. Some people just don't know. All right. But I
Some
got
people don't know what delete means.
some
Come
people don't
on,
understand
Preston.
how serious it is, and I let her know. Trust me, and that's why she felt really bad. And then something stumbled upon my way after that, which she gave me, which was a very nice copy of Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 64. Like it's like when she gave it to me, I'm like, damn, you take care of your shit really well. Like the sticker on it and everything is just still fantastic. No one markered their name on this shit, nothing like that.
It's a good game, man.
I have a fun story
Dude,
about that game.
my youth.
I rented that game from the video store so many times when I was a kid that the guy behind the counter was like, "Do you just want to buy it?"
Because
And then
you've
let
already
me
paid for
buy it
Canada.
from the video store.
Yeah.
Man, that's dope. That's
I'm assuming he
cool.
gave you a decent discount after renting it 15 times.
He
Yeah.
did. He did.
Oh, trust me, I've paid for a Mega Man X over and over again through my local video store. Yeah, it was just one of those games where like I don't see anything here I like, but I did like that game, so I'll pick it up one more time. And then that one is worth roughly almost $45 again. Yeah.
All right. Next for me, a game that I find really expensive for what it is, but I do love this game. Snowboard Kids for the Nintendo
Yes.
64.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys played?
I have.
I have.
It's a really good snowboarding game for the N64, honestly.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, just hours and hours when I was a kid. Really, really like this one, and that is about $75.
For some,
Damn.
that's more than I
Yeah.
would have figured for that game.
And that's just the cartridge.
I'll say, yeah, that's not a complete in box. Yeah,
That's wild. That is. I would have not expected that at all. That's cool.
For some reason, that reminds me of like Vigilante 8 because like it was like that game and a couple others that we would switch on and off of. But
Oh, sure.
yeah. Next up on my list, number 11. See, that was Smash. Super Nintendo game. Final Fantasy II. I've played a little bit of this game, so I guess this is the second game I haven't beaten. That's on my list. I did play a little bit of it. It's a JRPG through and through. It's pretty good. What I was playing with, it wasn't bad at all. But yeah, it's an older Final Fantasy. If you're into that kind of deal, you probably liked it back then if you played those older Final Fantasy games. But yeah, I got that one on there, and that was from a big haul. But that is $50 as far as
Nice.
costs.
All right, which brings us to our top 10. So,
Yeah.
Christian, let's get you
Let's
in
do
here,
it.
buddy.
So first, I want to preface. So to inform my collection a little bit, because I don't know if I ever. We never get to talk about collections
No.
or physical media
Not
because
allowed.
there's somebody who just hates it for some reason and hopes that they all die. So I don't get it. But so like I started the whole idea around like why I wanted to start collecting things and all this other stuff was when I had gotten older and I was into games, I had realized that in my, much like we've all talked about, like varying degrees on even on this episode where we've said it's like when you're a kid, you're not thinking about I'm gonna want this later, or I want to preserve. Like you're just like, I'm gonna shred through this and then move on. And then when I'm done with everything, I'm gonna go to GameStop. I'm gonna push every single game that I have on the counter, and I'm gonna be like, take it all, please, so I can buy the next whatever. And
so I can buy Modern Warfare.
Right,
7 games for one. Yeah.
And so, that's what I did. And then when I had finally got on my own, I was like, man, that was fucking stupid. Like, I don't have any of these consoles anymore. I don't have any of these games. And so my goal was I want to rebuild my collection. Like, I want to go through and try to remember every good or bad, every game that I've ever had, and I want to get it. And I'm basically there. I'm missing one game on the PS2 still, and then that's basically it. I've gotten every single thing, and so now it's been more about like, okay, now I want to be more selective about the stuff that I want to buy. Like, I want to only buy really cool things that like will actually be dope for me to own, as opposed to like, you know, just like, oh, here's random whatever that I just found and then getting it that way. So I'm more selective these days. But for a while there, it was just like going in, and there's some games that I've purchased that people that behind the counter would look at me and be like, why? I'm like, shut up, dude. It's not for you to know, man. Like, yeah, I need it. So to start it off, my number 10, and also what's funny is getting ready for this and listening to you guys do your top 15. I realized that there's some games that I skipped over in my, like, while I was getting prepared for this. I was like, that can't be worth that much, and I'll skip it. And it's clearly, after some of the, like, Animal Crossing being one of them, is definitely worth more than some of the ones that I have on here. So that's really funny. Let me get my list up here. So my first one is as a surprise to nobody, a lot of these are going to be Dreamcast games. So a little guy called Gundam Side Story 0079.
Very nice.
Quick question. Does that involve giant robots?
It was a great question, and I am glad you asked. It, in fact, does include giant robots that fight. Yeah. It seems like a lot of people like those these days. I don't know anybody who wouldn't, but that one is coming in at $43.
Very nice. Very nice.
Respectable $43.
Yeah.
Okay, Ted.
That's Jake. See Jake? I don't know if he's in enough frames per second for you to see him.
Okay. Well, then I will go on.
Good boy.
I couldn't find the box, but I do have the disc. Right next to Teen Titans for GameCube is the Zelda Collector's Edition. Are either of you familiar with this title?
I am.
Yes, this is the one, if I remember, where it was the re-release that came out on GameCube, right? And then it was... I don't know that they changed anything, but they remastered it for GameCube, correct?
So it has Zelda, like the original Zelda, Zelda 2, Adventure of Link, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and then a 20-minute preview of Wind Waker.
Right.
Yeah, and then once that 20 minutes is up, it just, wherever you're at, it kicks you back. I think it's cool as shit.
It's awesome.
Like, I love that game.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. Yeah.
So yeah, I raged at Zelda 2 all the time because I'm like, how could they make this so bad? It's such a bad game. But obviously the N64 games are phenomenal, and 1 is still absolutely playable. So yeah, I like that one a lot. I'm a big.
We can say that
fan.
it's a crime, by the way, how dirty Wind Waker got done at the time of its release.
Yeah.
People should be ashamed.
It's definitely
Awesome art. Fucking phenomenal.
And I don't know, the top 3 or 4 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
But that one is $80. So
honestly,
nice.
that one, because it was like a special kind of release, and it has just such a good collection of games. It's like the Zelda All-Stars.
Yeah, it really is.
All right, number 10 on my list. This one's one I don't usually see very often. Ted, you gonna fall off? Or you gonna figure out which way you want to sit? There you go. All right. This one is from an old collection. I got this when I was in high school. a friend in my computer class was telling me about it. I'm like, man, that sounds like a really fucking cool game. So we both got together so we could play and play some multiplayer on it. But this is Phantom Dust for the Xbox. Another great card game. So,
oh, dude, it's so. Jake, do you have PC Game Pass, right?
I do.
It's free.
Yeah,
it's totally worth downloading.
Single player story stuff, not the greatest. But the gameplay itself is where it really truly shines. So it's like a card game. You have your cards that you kind of your decks that you pull, but it's a third person kind of arena fighter. I guess not arena fighter, but like a stage fighter kind of deal. Where you can go upstairs and stuff like that, but you're kind of running around and you're throwing out cards as if they were spells. So some are like shields, some are like area effects, some of them are like just straight up like missiles. And like the levels are destructible too. So you're throwing all this kind of shit at somebody and all of a sudden the ground crumbles beneath them. They fall down, take more damage. It was a lot of fun. The combat was a whole lot of fun. That little game will cost you a good $52 nowadays. But yeah, it's a very fun game. Kind of disappointed they didn't make that Phantom Dust 2. But it's that era of.
Hey, we got the
Xbox.
remaster / little bit like we got that one that came out. So I know they were testing the waters to see if they could maybe bring that IP
was
back.
Such a weird pull, man. When they found us, like no one cares about this game but me. And 3 other
it was
people.
Cool though.
It's a good idea. But yeah, that's a good one.
All right, so then my number 9, a little game that I got as a Japanese import copy, Capcom vs. SNK.
Nice.
Yep.
The art is so good.
The cover art.
Yeah, so Japanese, specifically to call out, so, and what's funny is I actually got this, it came with, so this version came with a separate terrible insert that you could, if you wanted to change out the binding to see what it looked like, you could tear it and then and put it in. So that one's cool. And then, dude, this booklet, like the way that they did booklets back in the day to have like some of the crazy stuff and like art in between it, like dude, like Ryu just looking like a fucking stud. Don't right there.
Shit like that anymore, man.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, that's what this whole episode is about, by the way. For people who aren't getting it yet, is they don't make them like they used to, and a bunch of people.
I'm so upset some of my Grand Theft Autos didn't make this list because they had like the nice posters in each one of those. I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
I fucking loved getting that shit.
So this one came in at $47.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, next for me. Again, I just have the disc because I couldn't find the box, but Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door.
Oh, shit.
A game I also have that I'm clearly now by your list, I'm realizing
in my list.
Definitely worth more than I thought it would be.
Yeah, one of my favorite GameCube games. I'm a huge fan of the Paper Mario series. I don't know if I love that one more than the first one, but both are just so good. I know it's most people's favorites.
I am most people's in that statement. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's so good. And that one clocks in. Cool. My page refreshed.
Now down in price. It's now number 25.
It is $95.
Damn. That is wild.
Damn.
Because
Mario.
Can I tell you guys? So how I paid? Because I still remember. Because I knew even then I knew that it was a deal, but I couldn't believe it was. I was at this store. It was one of the stores that Preston and I used to frequent in St. Louis. I got it for $13.
Which store?
It's so out in Fenton. It's called Trade-In Games. Have you ever been there? Like trade, comma, and comma games.
It's the one next to Slingers, isn't it?
Yeah. There's a couple other games. When I was talking to you guys about my number 1, I also snagged this there for an unbelievably low price. And then I did it, and then I started bringing Preston there, and I was telling other people about it. And then some employee started working there. Somebody started telling them like, "Hey, man, this is a problem. You should start looking these up before you put them out." And I was never able to find as good of deals there after that point. But I got the ones that matter.
The only place you can do that to now is like you have to find like an antique place or something like that. You're like, we kind of have games here. Like we got a bin over there, and like I'm just gonna go search that bin for the next hour because I guarantee I'm gonna find something in there that's worth more than you expect.
Yeah.
All right. Next on my list, right? No, it's yep. So this one I don't have with me. It's big. It's in my mom's basement. Mama Burns' basement. This is the collector's edition for Star Wars Galaxies and Empire Divided. I was fucking ready for this game.
A Star Wars Galaxies special edition?
Yes. This has like a leather box that's like bigger than my fucking head. And it came with like art book. It came with like a little like pewter figure of a Zabrak pistolier lady. It came with a whole bunch of stuff, soundtrack, everything. And
that is wild to me.
Dude, I was so ready for that game. Like my friend
I have that
sorry.
with you.
I kept it. It's in my the hope chest. So it's just something that like I don't. It's big. I don't have a place to put it. I've thought about it. I'm like, man, I should have that with me, but it went through so many moves where I just didn't have a place to put it. Where I'm like, I'm just gonna leave this here because it's gonna get damaged. It's gonna get fucked up, and it stays in Mama Burns' like in my Star Wars box of shit I don't need to have in my apartment because my apartments are small.
Sure.
But yeah, that one sitting at a nice 55. I'm pretty sure I paid more for it at the time. I was thinking that was going to be a little bit more expensive, but it's a game you can't play really unless you find a private server. But yeah, I was super hyped about that. I had a friend, Adam, who did a episode with us early days of the testing room. He got me into like EverQuest, and like I wasn't the biggest fantasy person in the world as far as like elves and the kind of stuff like that, magic and knights. But like you told me it had laser swords and spaceships and stuff, I was fucking in. And that was going to be like the Star Wars version of EverQuest. And I'm like, this is going to be rad. And I played it, had a great time with it. It wasn't a great game, but the community and everything like that and the social aspects of it were a lot of fun.
I didn't play it very much, man, but I remember loving it.
Yep, I remember loving it. I remember going into it on the last day and seeing all the deserted towns of all the cities that were built, but no one lives in them anymore. And just kind of dealing with that last little bit and just shooting off some fireworks and just being there. It was fun. Yep. It's a nice experience to be there it's a sad experience, but it's a nice experience to be there at the end of an MMO. But yeah, that is my number 9.
Yeah, so then my number 8 is Wind Waker.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. So funny enough, the actual game of Wind Waker goes for less than the 20-minute demo that Jake has. But
fair.
Yeah, so this one is far and away, this is my favorite of any of the main, for the longest time, those 3D Zeldas that used to be, that would all come out and have varying degrees of similarities between them. That one, Wind Waker, was my favorite. Even at the time, I remember I still think that there is no way that somebody can go put that game in and listen to the opening and like the opening theme with the ship that comes in and the title sort of builds itself. There's just no way that you can look at that intro opening and not just experience joy.
Yeah.
Unless you just hate yourself, which is fine. But
dude, really, that was like the starting point for Breath of the Wild, right? All that sea exploration,
all that wandering, exploring. Yep.
Yeah.
It's fun, man. Yeah, I love that game. There's something just very unique about it amongst its peers as far as the 3D Zelda space goes, and I really liked the stuff they took with it. That one is worth $59.
Okay. I remember I wasn't super down on that game when it first. I wasn't one of those people who's like, oh, it's fucking baby Zelda. I want my real Zelda with like blood and hardcore stuff. Adult Zelda. So I was playing it, I was enjoying it, but what really sold me on that game was when I found like the old Hyrule Castle in the water. As soon as I found that, I was like, this game is fucking rad. Like, this is so cool. I'm like, sold. This is one of the best ones ever. Yeah.
We don't have to worry about spoilers, but man, getting to go back to Hyrule Field like as in Wind Waker, and having, as soon as you walk, hearing the music start to play, you're just like, dude.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I'm like, nostalgia juices.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the cell shaded graphics. I think it's cool.
And
Even better HD.
I do too, but also like you can put that game in a GameCube today, and because of that cell shaded graphic, it still holds up
Still
today.
looks good.
It still looks fantastic.
Yep.
A couple of years ago played the Wii U remaster, and it's like, man, how do you take a game like that and just make it look that much better?
Oh, yeah.
But you know, it's just so crisp with that style.
Yep.
Yeah, that will not age.
Yeah. But man, nothing got you wanting that game more than playing that damn 20-minute demo. Just like, dude, I have to have more of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Okay. Next is bam, Nights into Dreams for the Sega Saturn.
Okay.
Every Sega Saturn game I own is on this list because they're all very expensive nowadays.
Damn.
It's almost like the Saturn was with us for a very, very short time.
I know, right?
Yeah.
My number 2 and 3 are both Saturn games, and I was like, really? But Nights into Dreams is so good. I, to this day, have never been able to beat that final planet.
Really?
It's just too hard for me. And you know, it's one of those things where like, it's like, man, when I was a kid, I beat this all the time. Like, why am I bad at it now?
Yeah.
And this isn't, and I didn't beat it when I was a kid either, but it's just like, I've never beat it. So
It's fair.
but it's a great fucking game. It's unique, very unique. No other game, as far as I'm concerned, is like that.
Yeah.
And I love it. And that one comes in also at $95.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So number 8 on my list, favorite of Jake's. Let's see here. Get you out from underneath here. Star Fox Assault for the GameCube. And this is this was a Blockbuster version as far as like the casing. So it has that little lock section down there underneath there too, and the little 2-day rental underneath it. Good Star Fox game. Yeah, good Star Fox game. I'm not the hugest fan of the combat. It doesn't hold up as well for me because it wasn't a part of my like youth. So going into it in my 30s and playing it for the first time, I'm like, it's a little rough, but I mean, it's also a GameCube game, so I'm not going to hold it against it. But it was fun when I played of it, and it still gives you a couple of those on-rail shooting levels, which are fucking fantastic, and it looks really nice because it's a GameCube game. GameCube games, I feel, are very underrated on how they look. I think they hold up very well for that era. Yeah. And yeah, that Star Fox Assault is going for $59. I like to round it up to good 60.
Nice. That is such a good game. I mean, it's like people always talk about 64, but Assault, as far as the space battle, like the rail shooting parts, it was just that, but it looked better.
Those rail levels are just better overall. And like, I cannot wait for one of these days for me to be able to actually play Star Fox Zero whenever they find some magical way of porting it to the Switch without ruining it. Because I know those on-rail levels are going to be fantastic. It's just a shame it's that game.
So my next one, number 7, is actually from this first series that Jake and I ever talked about when we first met.
Oh, okay.
Marvel vs. Capcom, baby.
Another
So that's the first one there. Clash of Superheroes. That's the subtitle there. Yeah. Jake and I have said Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is definitely the better game.
Okay.
And holds up the best. But Marvel vs. Capcom 1, still very dope. And
not a bad game, yeah.
Yeah, that one is coming in at $63.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
All right. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna mention I totally forgot on my games this weekly. I did mess around with the Street Fighter 6 open beta, so I got to play a couple more characters and shit because that was this weekend while you're gone. Yep. Did you? Okay, nice. It's we'll talk about this later, I guess. But it's feeling good. It's feeling real good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, number 7 for me. I'll show you a couple of things that's inside of it, but the Fire Emblem 30th anniversary special edition.
Oh, you got the actual console.
It's one of the coolest special editions ever. It comes with an art book, this really cool replica Nintendo Power poster.
Nice. That's
Hey,
awesome.
That is dope.
Yep. And then the coolest part. It comes with a replica box of the
That's
original
so fucking
game.
rad.
But wait, it gets better.
Is it actually got like a remade cart?
Yes, but it's made of glass.
That's so fucking sick.
Oh, dude, that is sick.
Damn.
Isn't it?
That's very sick.
Yeah, that is really fucking cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
so
a piece.
miles and miles ahead of anything else is it my favorite special edition of anything,
yeah.
because who else gives you a glass cartridge and a Nintendo Power poster?
No shit. Does it say what issue that Fire Emblem was from? I've had so many Nintendo Powers, and I know I've had a Fire Emblem, but I don't think it's that. I don't think I have them that old.
It says volume 11, so I don't know.
That's issue 11. Yeah, no.
We should have done there could be a whole separate topic of our favorite physical or special editions. Because
Yeah.
seeing that one, all I can think is because that is so fucking good. The only one that I have that even comes close to that is the Sonic Mania collector's edition that I
so
got.
cool.
With the cartridge.
That comes with a cartridge, but then a full Genesis with Sonic on top. That if I press the power button, it makes the Sega noise.
Yep.
Yeah.
I missed out on that one, but a friend of mine happened to cross the just the cartridge and got it for me, so I've got that
Nice.
sitting back on that shelf.
Nice.
But that Genesis is just sick.
Yeah, it's really
Very
cool.
So yeah, this I thought this one would have been higher up on the list.
Yeah, dude, with that glass car, I would assume that'd be like just
Yeah,
That
I
box
know.
is fucking giant.
But that clocks in at $102.
Damn.
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, you. Would,
Yeah,
I
it's-
would have bet upwards of 200.
Yeah,
Yep.
that price went
Yeah.
up for sure. Yeah. All right, so this is one that I don't have everything on me. I don't even have the actual game on me because I think I left it in the box, which is again sitting on Burns' house. But a piece of it that came with me in the move, because I always use this, is the Order 1886. It's a collector's edition. There's two different ones that came out. One came with this statue right here, a sick steelbook of the game as well. I think an art book too. And then the other one was one of him on the ground with like one of the lichens coming after him, like on top. That's like the more expensive collector's edition that came out. But I think it's a completely underrated game.
Correct.
Yeah, it's a shame that it didn't get its sequel, which they were definitely planning on, as far as they showed in the end of the game.
Yep.
But yeah, that's definitely like one of my favorite pieces that I have that came with a collector's edition. Like I got a Sackboy from one of the Little Big Planet games. I got another like little character from one of the ones I'll show later on today. But this definitely one of the cooler ones as far as that's concerned. As far as getting a statue with it, that one comes out at even like a 60. Which is surprising. I figured it would be a little bit more with a statue, but nope.
So, my next one, number 6, is a game that every single time I talk about this game, I am the only one who's ever played it. And every single time I say the name, people go, "What?" But it is a little RPG called Elemental Gimmick Gear for the Sega Dreamcast. It's top down, but there's no way that this is going to come through good. But right here, if you'll see,
I can put
the
it-
combat for that game. Yeah, you might be able to find a clip.
I can find the back of the box, yeah.
That, or you could find a clip, I'm sure, of the combat that I'm about to describe. But
Sure.
essentially, you're in, you guessed it, a robot.
Oh, shit.
And
I heard gear.
It comes, yeah, and it comes in. So the coolest thing about this game was that as you would run into an enemy in the overworld, it would then zoom in and give you like a 3D sort of battle arena, and you would be in your mech and you'd have different things and you would use it to solve puzzles. Sometimes you'd have to hop out and do different things. This is one of my favorite games of all time. I actually really love this game. It's so good. It just never, much like everything with the Dreamcast, it never got its due. But that one is coming in at $73.
Damn. Okay.
I just Googled it real quick, and the graphics look great.
Yeah, dude. the overworld and stuff is still that older hand drawn art style, so it all still holds up. And yeah,
Nice.
All right. Next up for me, in a custom case, by the way, and I have one of these for all of my handheld Pokemon games, but it's Pokemon Crystal.
yeah,
I've got it in this cute little like cassette
mm-hmm.
thing. But yeah, Pokemon Crystal. It's the one that for like 3 or 4 years straight was on the highest selling eShop games list
Yep.
for the 3DS. Everybody loves Pokemon Crystal. Gen 2 is my favorite generation for Pokemon. So
The
obviously,
legendary dogs are still go
So-
hard today.
Yeah,
as far as
Real quick,
legendary Pokemon.
because I only played Silver. Was this Crystal kind of like the yellow version of second generation?
yes.
yeah,
Because that's Suicune, right? That the Pokemon's name?
That's the first time I've heard it pronounced that way.
Same.
I've heard Suicune.
which is what the developers say. So I'm going to go with that one.
Okay, no, this is childhood Preston
I'm not
reading text.
bashing you at all.
Yeah.
I just have never heard it.
Yeah,
It's a
but
crazy
yes.
spelling.
yeah.
Yep, it is. But amazing game. I've played through Crystal more times than I'd like to admit.
I mean, Silver's
Yeah.
my favorite. Yeah.
I was a
And
gold.
that-
I was a gold
yeah.
version.
Yo-ho-oh.
Mhm.
Yo-ho-oh.
Yeah.
Yo.
My favorite
That-
from that game is Entei, though.
Ah, yeah.
I'm a Raikou guy because I was always
Raikou's cool.
obsessed with electric types.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, that is $115.
Damn, and you got a box and everything too. Shit.
Not the original box, but
Yeah.
still, it's something.
yeah, something to put it in. Yeah. All right, my numero seis would be one of my favorite games of all time. A fantastic collection. I played this over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Kirby Superstar.
Yes.
And this is 8 games in one. It brings a bunch of the old games together and also gives you a bunch of the mini games on top of that. I loved playing the mini games back in the day. And one of the newer ones that I got recently has a bunch of those mini games as well, even more on top of that. But that's a huge part of my childhood, playing through all those games, getting all the collectibles in some of those games. It's just, I fucking love that era of Kirby.
Dude, you and I are on so many
Dude.
games.
Nintendo Bros.
Yeah, for real.
That one comes out at a solid 60 out of just the game itself. No box, no nothing.
Nice. So then my number 5, this one is, depending on the day that you ask me, could probably be my number 1 or number 2 of
Okay.
all time. Like, it's my favorite.
Sure.
I love this game. I have the collector's edition of the Shadow of the Colossus
Nice.
remake
Sick.
that came out. So I also have every other version that has ever come out of Shadow of the Colossus, but this one is my favorite. It comes with a couple different things. So it comes with this little cutout that shows, just the game. It has a specific little art book / manual that gives sort of control things, and then different screenshots and all sorts of stuff, and then nice little map area here, and then a steelbook that has some sort of code on the back of some puzzle, because that's what he always loves to do in all of his games. The steelbook, and then it has a couple different things in here. I love this stuff. 2 art cards
Nice. Those are sick.
of
Oh, so
Yeah.
cool.
some Colossus. This one, I swear to God, if I will probably get this as a back
Statue.
piece one
Or
day.
back piece. Okay.
Just because I love it so much. This is the inside of the steelbook, so it's got its own little
I love the inside art when you started
thing
doing that
there.
shit. Yeah.
Yep. So that is that one. That one is coming in at, I believe, $75.
Damn. Nice.
So still holding its value, because I think that's exactly what I paid for it.
Is it?
If I'm not mistaken. So
I
that
have
worked.
the non-collector's edition version of that.
Oh, and there's
Yeah,
sorry,
that's
there's one other piece that I forgot about. which is this map.
Sick.
Of the
I'm a
area.
sucker for maps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
Mhm.
I got one of those games over here with my top 5 that has a map in it.
Yep.
So that was one of those games that I'm sure both of you watched G4,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, there was always on Let's Play or X Play, sorry.
Let's Play.
They were always covering Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh yeah.
Good game, man. It is
game.
just a good game. Honestly, because I don't think Alex has ever played it. Preston, have you ever finished it?
I did.
You did? Okay, so then maybe it wouldn't qualify
Remaster.
for
Hey. I haven't played in a long time.
a
Not a bad
book
idea.
club thing, but
Just put it on the list.
any excuse to go back and play that I would take. But
All right.
Oh,
Well.
yeah, I guess that's me, huh?
That'd be you.
All right, next
Take your time.
for me is Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn for the Wii.
Very nice.
Very expensive game. Not as expensive as my Holy Grail that I apparently will never own. But yeah,
yeah,
it was,
that one
yeah.
was fucking. We saw that one, sent you a photo of it. That one was expensive.
Sure you don't want to pay more for what you thought you saw it online for? Because we
dude,
have
it
it here.
just it hurts my soul. It hurts my
Yeah.
soul.
Hundreds.
But yeah, so Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn were the games for Ike. If anybody is familiar with the characters or familiar
Swoosh.
with these Smash characters, Ike is from these games. He is my favorite character in Fire Emblem. So I love that he got 2 home console games because most of the popular Fire Emblem titles are handheld nowadays. But yeah, great fucking game. Graphics still hold up well for the Wii. Funny thing about that is whenever they made it, there's like an easy mode and a hard mode. And something got fucked up or there's like easy, medium, and hard. On this game, easy mode is actually hard.
Damn.
And then hard mode is like lunatic level.
Oh, I think you're telling me
So
easy.
it's a very, very hard game.
Jesus.
So only normal is regular, like is tuned
Yeah.
correctly.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. So yeah, if you beat it, congrats to you. Good job. But yeah, great fucking game. And that one comes in at $145.
Damn.
Damn.
Okay. All right, Mambo number 5. This little guy right here. You guys are talking about a little
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mambo number
a
5.
sick
Just like
game.
play the first like 5 seconds of that, just the bam, bam, and, yeah.
Yeah. You guys are talking about Tears of the Kingdom. I have the Explorers edition of Breath of the Wild, which, like
A
you
game
said,
you never finished.
I never finished. I said 1 at the very beginning of this, didn't I? And I haven't finished like 4 of these games. Explorer's Guide. It comes with a guide, which is like a book. It also comes with a map, like a cloth map of the entire land. But yeah, got this with my Switch. Got a whole box and everything. It's very nice. It's an enjoyable game. It's all right. It's an all right one of those Zeldas. That guy is sitting at a pretty 61. So holding its value.
I didn't know it came with a cloth map. I'm gonna have to try to
It's
track
cloth.
one of those
I'll find it
down.
for you real quick. Is it cloth? No, it's paper. I'm sorry. It's been a while since I looked at it, but it has like this edging to it that makes it look cloth. That's why I thought about that. Yeah. Great Plateau.
Oh, yeah.
It's got like
Great.
edges on it and stuff like that, but it's reversible. Got Hyrule all together on this side.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Just real quick before you go on, Christian, one of my favorite pieces that I have is the I've got it framed in the other room on my wall, but it's the map from the Morrowind Special Edition. So
Damn.
I've got
Morrowind
that.
is a sick fucking game. I've also got the Skyrim map as well, but they didn't do one for Oblivion, which was an absolute travesty to
Yeah.
humanity, because that's the best Elder Scrolls game. But yeah, Morrowind is up there for me as well.
I got the enhanced or the latest version of Skyrim, the last version they put out for Skyrim.
The one that runs on Samsung fridges.
Yeah. It came with like a little cloth version of the Dovahkiin helmet. And it's
Nice.
similar to
Oh yeah, you
PS2
do.
right
I
now.
forgot
Yeah,
you had
it's
that.
right
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
Cassandra is covering it up right now, but she deserves a spotlight.
Yeah.
Also, what was the face, Christian? You disagree?
Morrowind is just the best one. That's just where I'm at. I'm a massive. Now, here, don't get me wrong. Oblivion is a great number 2, but I think honestly, in a lot of I would take any day of the week. I would take Morrowind or Oblivion over Skyrim.
Really?
Oh yeah, easy.
Same. Like Skyrim's the only one I finished.
If I'm going to a desert island game kind of thing, one of those would be coming with me, and I would be laughing at Skyrim on my way out. Like there's a lot of fun memories that I have with Skyrim, specifically, but a lot of it comes from the mods, right? Like the Randy Savage mod is the one that always comes to mind, where I just love, I remember the day I found it and I was just in tears. I was laughing so hard. But quality of game wise, I think Morrowind is my favorite, and then Oblivion's right behind there.
I think the lore and the story of Morrowind is better, but Morrowind is a hard game, much harder than Oblivion. And if you want one to grind legit, then Morrowind is the better game. But if you want to create a death ray spell and just dick around, then Oblivion is
that is fair. That is definitely fair. All right, so my number 4 is, and this is actually timely considering our current gaming book club thing, but bam, PlayStation 1 copy.
Very nice.
Of Diablo.
PlayStation 2 discs.
Yeah, it really lets you know, you can play with 2 players. It's like they really want to drive it home. That one, I was really surprised because I paid this is another one where I got in a deal. I only paid $30 for that, and it is currently at $76. Damn. So
I was hoping not
a bad hike.
Yeah. Not a bad jump.
I was hoping that some of my Blizzard games would have been up there in price, but original World of Warcraft inbox, Warcraft 2 inbox, Warcraft 3 inbox, I'm sorry. Those, they're not really high up there. I'm kind of surprised.
I think you would have seen before World of Warcraft Classic, I bet you somebody would have really paid a lot for that inbox, but now that they can just go back and play vanilla whenever they want to, they probably...
I honestly just have it as a keepsake, as a time thing, as this happened at one point, and I have the original day one thing I got of it. That's why I have that. All right, Jake.
Yeah, so I realized I accidentally went out of order. So that's my B.
That's okay.
But also for the Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
Shinobi.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shinobi Legions, actually.
Very cool.
The graphics on this game are insane for a Saturn game.
Okay.
I don't know, because they did that thing where they kind of use like a picture, almost. So it's very hyper realistic. Also a pretty difficult game in my opinion, but man, I know you can't really see it, but the cover is just so sick.
Rad.
Yeah, Shinobi's cool as hell.
So yeah, Shinobi Legions, that clocks in at $120.
Damn.
Nice.
Very nice, very nice. All right, that's me, right? Okay.
Yep.
Number 4 is one of my favorite GameCube games. This one definitely went up in price from the sticker that I have on it now. And this is probably one of the hardest games I've ever played on the GameCube. This would be F-Zero GX. If you had a memory card with your created, because you can create your own ships and stuff, you could take that memory card, bring it into an arcade that had the actual sit-down F-Zero FX. I forget what the arcade version was called. You can put your memory card in there and play with your card. Which I thought was
so cool.
Fucking rad. The cutscenes in here still hold up. They're fucking awesome looking. This game still looks really fucking good. But my God, if the story mode wasn't one of the hardest fucking things you beat your head against as a child, holy shit. I've tried to play it recently, and I don't have that time, nor do I hate myself that much to do that to myself again.
It's too bad that much like Star Fox, Nintendo just has no desire to ever let the fans of that franchise have anything.
You heard the rumored what was going to be the next Star Fox game was a Star Fox racing game, and that's just a marriage of those two worlds, where it's oh my God, that would have been the best.
That's the one franchise where the fans starve harder than Star Fox.
Yeah, I imagine that for both F-Zero and for Star Fox, there is a team in Nintendo that is only tasked with coming up with concepts for games, leaking the rumors about them, and then videotaping themselves pressing the canceling button,
upsetting people. Yeah,
Mhm.
You do this
Yeah.
just to make you mad.
Yeah, I'm convinced that that's what happens.
But yeah, I love that game. Complete in box, $80.
Nice.
The sticker on it says that it was probably a GameStop for $21.99.
Nice.
Okay.
So
Good
yeah,
hike.
very good hike. I love that game a lot.
So my number 3 here, these next 3, the final 3, are going to just do like giant jumps in hikes and price.
Oh,
One
yeah.
of which was a last minute at when I looked, because I realized that Jake, the site does for certain games will break out by in-box pricing. So I had to go back to edit one of these, but so this one is Metal Gear Solid: The
Very
Twin
nice.
Snakes.
I used to have that one.
So, yep, GameCube remake of the first Metal Gear game.
I didn't give that to you, did I? That's not Alex's copy that he gave away to me. So I gave it to somebody. I can't remember who I gave it to. Somebody who likes Metal Gear.
No, I've had this one for a while, but I believe I know who you gave it to,
Oh.
and yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So
They
there's
probably
that.
sold it anyways. It's fine.
Almost assuredly.
Yeah.
But so that game, Metal Gear Solid 1, is an absolutely fantastic game. I am one of the I think Twin Snakes holds up just as well. It is so good, and it is a really, really cool remake of that game. And if you're one of those people who don't like top-down isometric stuff, then Twin Snakes is for you, because they do it in the style of, like regular Metal Gear.
Yeah.
That one is coming in at $90.
Damn. I definitely should have given that one away.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3, complete in box, Pokemon Soul Silver.
Damn, you're so pretty, Lugia.
The prime way to play Gen 2, in my opinion.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's just like all the best mechanics up to this point, but
Yeah.
in Gen 2. And I do have Heart Gold as well, but Silver was the first Gen 2 game I went with, so that's why
Same.
I picked this one. But yeah, love that game. I have just logged a couple thousand hours, I'm sure, and multiple playthroughs on that. And that is $147.
Damn.
Damn.
You know what I loved about the silver cart that I had was that like weird kind of like a sparkle effect that they had on the actual entire gray silver cart of it. Man, I missed having that game so much. That's one of those games where it's like I'll never own a physical copy of that probably ever again. It's just gonna keep going up in price and it's not gonna stop. I'm wondering, did they announce ever? I don't know, Jake. Did they ever announce like are they doing any of those like virtual console Game Boy games for the Pokemon ones now that they're getting to that era?
Eventually.
Okay.
It should have been a launch title, but you know how Nintendo be.
The whole thing though is like they're not making money off of like their old games. Like, why do they even bother like not putting those out there other than they want to get you on the new thing?
Because they hate us all.
Yeah, no, I mean Nintendo
They just want to see us squirm.
I mean, I don't know why I sound surprised when I say shit like that. It just it happens. So, number 3, this one I am really glad I picked up. Physical. This is probably the newest game that I have, and it's on my top 3 as far as like in my collection here. This is Super Mario 3D All Stars. I bought the physical copy of it. The time limited. You can't even buy this digital on the Switch anymore. Game.
The most shitty garbage business practice that Nintendo has ever done is digital scarcity.
That's insane.
And I hate it because I own the digital copy of it, so like I can't
you knew like, I have to have this here.
Because I was like, well, I want a way to play Sunshine that won't be on my GameCube at some time. So here we go.
Yeah.
I bought the physical one too.
Did
I'm
you?
like, limited release. This is absolutely going to be $300
Yeah.
in 15 years.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, why isn't everybody picking these up right now? Like, why would you buy a physical copy of that? I'm like, because it's limited. Like, well, it's bullshit. I'm like, yeah, it's bullshit. But this motherfucker is now worth $82 and coming on 83, and it's just going to get higher and higher and higher as it goes on. The only damn shame is that they did not put fucking Galaxy 2 on here for some stupid ass reason, which I'm assuming they're going to do a remaster for Switch of like Galaxy 1 and 2, I'm assuming. But either way, it's like you put one on there, that's fine, but like, why not Galaxy? This is supposed to be all the 3D games.
From what I understand, from I've heard that 1 is more beloved than 2.
I've heard
so
that, yes.
maybe that could be the case. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, I love both of them. I played the shit out of both of them. But yeah, this is definitely one of those where like I touched these games a little bit when I bought this, but I really bought it just for collector's sake. I've beaten all these games at one point in my youth, but yeah. It's number 3, solid $83.
All right, number 2 on my list is a inbox copy of a Japanese import of Sin and Punishment
Yeah.
for the N64. So I'm not going to take the stuff out of the box.
Because the box gonna fall apart.
Okay,
Because-
real quick. Did that come out in like 2001? It looks so 2001.
Pretty sure
It
it's
is
aughts,
very
yeah.
edgy. Let
Maybe
me
late
look at the
90s?
release. I don't remember the date that it came out on. 2000. Yep.
Okay.
2000. Yeah. So which makes it, but yes, if you, I can get into those characters are pretty edgy.
That's
Yeah.
placed
Oh,
in
yeah.
near future 2007, according to the description.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
They hate
So-
their dads and
I know.
you.
I don't want to, but it's got the booklet and like the plastic, the thing that sits in the cartridge and all that other stuff. It's just the box is very delicate, so I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to yank it out. But yeah, so story on this one. There is a shop that I sent. Only Preston has ever seen these videos. I don't know that no, Alex, I guess he might have gotten a couple of them too. But there was a shop that I used to go to in Chicago that shut down to make way. The city of Chicago striking again in horrible, undermining, corrupt business practices. But they allowed for some really cool rental shenanigans for like certain small businesses and stuff. And this place got shut down in favor of a foot massage and smoothie place. So whatever the fuck
Yeah.
that means, but it's only because it was in a really cool, like older neighborhood. Yeah. And so they wanted to get rid of it.
Fuck Chicago.
Yeah, man.
I love to hate Chicago.
Yeah, I love that city, and it is close to where I'm from. But man,
Makes me mad.
the shit that goes on that is allowed to have it just makes me so mad. In those cases, but yeah, so that one is coming in at $158. I paid like $90 for it, and this was like 7 or 8 years ago. So, but
That was damn expensive at that time then.
yeah.
For sure.
All right. My number 2, and this is quite the price hike.
I'll say
in
you're
my
getting up there in your
collection.
top ones. You guys were already beating me. I'm like, I'm just gonna stay in the same price range for the next few.
Yeah, I'll be shocked if you guys top these next 2.
You guys are already topped my top 5. Yeah.
Also, for the Sega Saturn, to the surprise of
yeah.
nobody. Any guesses, Christian?
Is it Sonic 3D Blast?
You're close. You know what it is. It's Sonic Jam.
Damn.
Oh
Jeez, I never even
yeah,
heard of that one.
Complete inbox, baby. Sonic
For
Jam.
collection. Yeah.
that is sick.
It had an overworld that you could run around.
That's cool.
And then, you could go in and play the Genesis games.
Yeah.
As well as
That's
like it's like a theater mode or something like that. Great fucking game. You could play 1, 2, and 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, and then there was a fully interactive like Sonic Museum that you could go
Yep.
into. Absolutely bonkers game. You guys know I fucking love Sonic the Hedgehog,
Yeah.
so this is like the primo of my Sonic collection. outside of comic books, and this is $200.
Damn.
Oh, he's
son.
just a little bit above my highest. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Okay. All right. Number 2 is a big boy. Christian has one of these as well, so he won't be surprised. I have the sleeve for this as well. I just left the sleeve off because I don't want to get damaged. But this is the Take Your Heart Premium Edition of Persona 5.
Nice.
Yeah, it came in this sweet, sick-ass box. It has an art book, a very nice, like hard art book.
Yep.
Sweet steel book came with it. The soundtrack came with it, which I need to find it somewhere around here. It came with a little Mona, which is right there, and a backpack that is supposed to be like the school backpack that you get. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I love Persona games. That's my favorite so far. They just keep getting better with each one, I think. I did not buy the collector's edition for Royale. Both me and Christian, I think, were kind of thinking about it, but we're both like, we already bought the collector's edition for the original. Like, we can't double up on the same numbered Persona game. That one actually came with like the mask, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
But
That's a franchise I've never played.
Oh, dude.
I know I would like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say just dive into the newest one if you want to. Otherwise, I would
There's a
say
3
4 is a
remake.
great start.
Or 3 is out on Steam. You can go play 3, and they're
But the
potentially
remake's
remaking
coming.
that game. So
No,
I would
they're
wait.
remaking it from what I hear. Yeah.
Yeah, and then but Persona 4 Golden on Steam
Best
is
start off
the
with.
absolute perfect way to play it, and then 5 is on there now too.
Yep.
So
But yeah, I love those games. That collector edition is my pride and joy. That one is going for a solid 85 nowadays.
yeah, now I wish that I would have doubled up on the collector's editions of that one for Royale, only because everything that's in that I still have except the giant box. It did not survive the move from St. Louis to Milwaukee. Yeah, it was something
Smushed?
it just got smushed, and but
a
it
hard
did
box,
serve its
too.
purpose because it saved everything that was
Inside of it.
inside the box.
I think the
So
problem
I was
is
still
that
very happy, but
all his outside is pretty solid, but this right here, like I can push in very easily, so it's like paper thin almost. I
Yeah, it
guarantee
went
that
right.
foot probably went on you.
yeah,
And then the rest of that box saved you for sure. But yeah, that's honestly, I would have probably saved the rest of that box and just use it as like a thick poster. Like, that's what
yeah.
would've
It was ripped and bent and torn.
done. At a certain
because it
point,
got
you're
smashed
also probably
and-
upset.
yeah.
At the same time, like fuck this goddamn.
I was very mad. Yep. I was very, very mad.
Yeah, no, love the game. Good game.
All right, my number 1. So I only have the game right now on as far as the show is concerned. I have everything else that came with it, but it is so tucked away in my little display that I would be such a pain in the ass to take out.
You have to dismantle the shelves.
Yes, basically. Yeah. So this one is Lunar 2 Eternal Blue Complete Edition. And then this is the collector's edition. So this is a very obscure sort of niche PS1 JRPG. It has a lot of actually really cool art. It came with 3 discs, like games used to back in the day. Or 4 actually. No, 3 and the making of.
Very nice.
So a little
Oh,
making
so
of
cool.
CD, which is cool, which I love. You can see this is what the art looked like. So
That's sick. Yeah.
Amazing.
still very much holds up. This is another one
Damn.
here. The other side there.
I love it. Like
Dude, it's so good.
that's
I
the
know.
nice thing about like most of those Japanese companies is they did the inside artwork very early on, and then I just didn't notice it until like later on, as far as like through the years. But man, the Japanese kind of did that for the longest time with their games. I love that shit. Like the
Yeah,
the
and even
I'm sorry, go ahead.
sorry, even the discs. Now that I've back in the day, like man, like even the discs
Oh,
have
yeah.
special cool
Special
art
art on
things
them,
that's on
yeah.
each thing. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's
But I
all
forgot
really
to show
cool.
that I didn't notice until I was looking into it because I was thinking about that today about the reverse sleeves because I got a bunch of stuff like God of War I have over
Yeah.
there for PS4. Like I did the reverse on that one because that had such cool art in the background. But like the inside reverse for the Mario collection just has a bunch of screenshots from the old game. Like that's
Yep.
a fucking rad way to do it too.
So the collector's edition comes with an art book and some other like a ton of little collector knickknacks from the game from back then. That is all really cool and like a really hard card cover, and then has like this little neat like red ribbon that comes through to like sort of hold wherever you're at in some of it. It's really really cool. I absolutely adore that game. I had been searching. So that was probably easily when I started this, my time collecting things, and in the way that I was trying to do it, I was trying to rebuild the things that I had lost. That game easily took me the longest because it was one of the first ones that I was looking for, and I did not find it until 2020, just before COVID hit, or when the lockdown hit, I should say, where I just happened to go into, I don't remember, it's out in, not Brentwood, what's the other Missouri that starts with a B? There was Bridgeton, thank you. Okay. And there was that store that we went out there to, Preston. It was like Arch City Gaming or something like that. I'm dropping names a bit. I don't know if they're even still around or anything that people can go to. But, and I just happened, he had all of the pieces and everything for the complete edition. And I was like, it doesn't matter what this is. I'm going to pay for it, or I'm going to buy it. And he ended up having it, surprisingly, he had it for $80. Which I immediately, I was very calm. I didn't want to be like, oh my God, I need to buy this right now, because I know how much it's worth. But I was just like, oh, hey man, I'd totally like to get that. Just go ahead and swipe it for me. Thank you. That one is at a gentleman's 191 right now. So not too bad.
Very nice.
Not too bad.
Nice. All right.
Number one.
And my number one, I'm a little disappointed that this is my number one, because I think that there are a few other items that are way cooler. But
fair.
It's the Fire Emblem Three Houses Seasons of Warfare edition.
Jesus.
They go out on
that already. That came out so recently. I cannot believe that's so high up on the price. That's awesome.
Yeah. I know. It includes, steelbook, art book, soundtrack on CD, and a 2020 calendar.
Damn.
Nice.
Yeah, I won't get everything out because, again, I don't think it's as cool as that 30th anniversary one that I showed you earlier. But that clocks at $215.
Jesus.
But let it be known, I have every special edition of Fire Emblem that's come out that I could have added, like the Fates and Conquest duo pack box, as well as the one for Fire Emblem Engage that came out
and the one you're looking for is what again?
Path of Radiance.
Path of Radiance, right.
We saw it for what, 400 and something?
Yes. Yeah, when we saw the convention, it was like 425 or something like that we sent Jake a picture. And
I think Jake was like, I've been seeing it for around like 250 or something like that, so if you see something around there, let me know. I'm like, okay, and we see 400. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, Jake, I found it.
I'm making it public on this podcast. If anybody finds it for $250, buy it. I will give you that money immediately. Just please buy it.
And I will tattoo your name somewhere on my body.
Yes, I will.
A free comic of your choice from this glass shelf. But yeah, so I got one more. And this is one of my favorite games, again, GameCube. I had this one a long time ago.
Star Fox Adventures.
No, not Star Fox Adventures. I haven't looked at that one's not cheap either. For as people hate that game, that's still not a cheap game. I think GameCube's going through that era, kind of like probably his Saturn is, to where it's just like people just for some reason want GameCube games and Saturn games right now. So we make fun of Alex for not liking physical media and all that other stuff, but physical media has actually it's gone through quite a resurgence. It is bigger than it's ever been as far as people wanting to collect stuff. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. This little one I got, it's one of my favorite games of all time. Again, I got lost in my GameCube collection, RIP that collection, with Tony Hawk and all the Metroid Prime. I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to get upset. So this one I got I let that person live with me for a little while. They had a mattress behind my couch. They were going through some hard times. I'm like, I got the space. It's fine. And before they left, they had a box of stuff that just said, oh, this is my games. They had a couple of games in a box. I'm like, if you give me this game, we'll consider, I was going to let you live here for free anyways, but you can go ahead and if you give me that game, it'd be pretty good payment. I pretty appreciate that. It's Eternal Darkness for the GameCube. It's hard to find. It's not cheap, and it's a fantastic game. This game goes for a hot $86 nowadays. I've seen it for hire. I was telling Jake before we started recording this, I'm like, I love and hate the fact that I got this pricing chart account now, because I can give you the full total of my entire gaming collection right now, outside of like digitals.
I was going to ask everybody.
Yeah, I was going to say, like I have that total. And now, Christian, when you start using this website, you'll notice that there'll be little red arrows and blue arrows showing you that it went up and down in price. And this one definitely has a down arrow on it. It used to be more than $100. Now it's down to 86. So I don't know what the fuck happened with this game.
Dude, it'll go back up.
Yeah, it'll go up and down. I'm sure it's fine. But like, I remember when we went to go to that convention, Christian, I was looking up Eternal Darkness. Just like, I wonder how much mine would be worth up there. I'm like, it was like over 100 at that time, and a month or so later, it's now down to 80. But this game is fantastic. The whole sanity system is fucking insane.
So
I've been
good.
saying. But the first puzzle in this game took me forever to fucking figure out. And this might be a game that we do one day on the book club. Who knows? It's not a super duper long game unless you want to go through all of it. But because to beat the game, like and it's special, like the best ending or whatever you want to consider that, you have to get through all 3 different gods, demons, whatever you want to call them, and then you get a 4th one that you can kind of go through and you play the game as. But yeah, this game was fantastic. And yeah, I was going to say something else about it, but then I just kind of lost that train. If anybody else remember what I was talking about, we're good to go. Other than that, I'm done.
I'm just glad we got to do it, man.
Yeah, the last thing you were talking about was it potentially being one of the book club games that you wanted to do, but that was...
Oh, yes, no, the puzzle part. The first puzzle, I'll give this away because this is the first puzzle. But when the game first starts up, it starts with a cutscene of your alarm clock going off, right? You know, the beep, beep, beep. It's got that little gray, like, you know, digital clock. And you go and you find out, I think it's like your father, I think it's grandfather, died, and you're going to the mansion in there because you got a call from him, and so you go to find out. And the first puzzle is, and they don't tell you what to do or anything, but there's a clock in the back of the this one room, the library, I think it was. And because you got a call around the same time you find out about your grandfather's death, so the time on the alarm clock when it was going off is the same time you need to be putting into the clock as far as changing the face of the dial of it. And then that's how you get to the next room to actually go into like the first like story beat, as far as like the action part of the game.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's that puzzle took me way too long to figure out. Way too long.
Don't feel too stupid, because I remember booting up Pokemon Red version, and I didn't know how to leave the house. I was in
an actual door.
Yeah, I was in the first house for 2 hours, and I was like, "What? How do I get the fuck out of here?" Right?
Man, there's something to be there. Back in the day, you know, a lot of people will make fun of game design nowadays about over leading the player, right? Like using so many different signals throughout the environment, or a character telling you like, "Hey, idiot, go here," or whatever. And rightfully so. There's some people there's some times where it goes way too far. Like I know the God of War game the new one is
it was a little rough on it,
particularly egregious about how quickly it tries to solve something for you. But man, some of those older games, like absolutely zero player direction. Like you were just like, you'll either figure it out or you'll call us for a tip from the number on the back of the box. Like that is.
And this game fucked with you, like to a point to where like it would say that your memory card was deleted just for funsies because your sanity meter went down so much. Mm-hmm. Like this game fucked with you so hard.
That game and Metal Gear Solid 1 are the only two that I can think of that really tried to break it for you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a fantastic one. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I also just like listening to you guys talk about these games that you love. It's always fun when someone, you know, is passionate about something like this. So
the same type of childhood.
Dude, I love physical media and collecting. Like you, especially since I wish that it would have lined up better since both those conventions were on the same weekend, but it'd have been dope if you'd have been able to come up to the classic gaming one and we could have ran through stuff because it'd have been fun.
Dude, I mean, if the timing's right next year, I would love to, because I don't know if you guys ever went to Missouri Game Con down here, but I just love it, and I'm sure that one up there was a lot bigger. So
yeah,
who knows?
But yes, the grand total of my collection, with missing some Intellivision games, is $4,700 and 90 cents.
Damn. All right.
I did not get the total of mine, but I don't even want to know. If it's you're only counting physical stuff, right? You're not counting digital games,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
just
just physical.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's easily over a couple thousand, but it's too much. But I'm sure I should go and look one day just to know. It's the same thing when I do, like, I always, whenever I'm feeling like I want to feel some pain, I go onto Final Fantasy 14 and type /playtime, and then I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah. Like, do I even want to see that number?
Mm-hmm.
But no, Jake did this to me twice this year. He got me a website for the comic books that I can kind of go through and put my collection in. And then this one you can do the comics books too if you want pricing, but this one does the games for it. And like both times that he told me that, I'm like, well, I know what I'm doing all night tonight is cataloging my entire fucking collection because I just fucking love doing that kind of bullshit.
It's
and
fun.
having a digital version of it too
stuff.
is nice to have. Because like I said, like with my comic books, like there was 2 giant fucking boxes in my mom's basement that I had to go through. And it was just nice going through them. Like, oh yeah, because trying to remember all those comics. Like I have over 600 comics. I found out. And, like that's not easy to keep track of in your head, especially for me. I'm a person who forgets very easily. But as far as my total collection, according to pricecharting.com, around 2,400 as far as my entire physical collection.
I'll do it, and then I'll text you guys. I'll start cataloging. I'll do it.
If you do it before I put this episode up, I'll put a little blinking number.
Oh yeah, a little blinking number. Yeah, I can do that for sure.
But yeah.
I mean, there's no shame, right? We all know we spent way too much money on our shit. But that's just part of it.
I think it's very just interesting kind of watching that, like I said, like kind of the stock pricing of it kind of going like the green and red arrows going up and down and kind of checking in on it, kind of see where your total price is sitting in a couple months from now, a couple years from now. It'd be nice to see. But it's nice to see a total. It's interesting.
And before, it's like we were talking about, like physical media and stuff has been growing. Like people have been wanting to collect things and do stuff more, especially in the video game space, more than they ever have before. Comic books, I guess, have always had that, right? Like people have always been, because it's been around for much longer than video games have, but it's just now getting to the point where people are like, oh man, like I really want to own an old copy of this, or I want to have this console or whatever. And it's funny because we were, making jokes about the fact that Alex hates it and he hopes that, which is funny because he's not like that with comics. He loves collecting comics and he totally understands the value in.
Bought 2 in Japan just recently.
Yeah, but with video games, he's like, nope, and movies, he's like, nope, put all of it through a grinder and give me a single microchip that has everything on it. But it's funny because while he's been in Japan, he's been, like Press Masaba, he's been sending photos, and one of the photos he sent was a inbox copy of a Japanese copy of Final Fantasy X that he sent, and it's like, see, even people who hate it, there's certain things they're like, well, I guess I kind of want to own it, and that's how it starts.
I'll say, how many copies of Final Fantasy X 10-2 does he have now?
He owns it on
bought
everything.
every one that came out in America as far as each different.
I also messaged him and I was like, hey, if you find a good condition copy of an inbox one of Final Fantasy IX over there, and I just typed price is no object, I'll send you whatever it is.
Just give it to me. Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah. That would be our collections. Jake, did you say you kind of want to rate them? I thought Jake's like, I want to rate them because we're going by our price and we're not going by our top 10 that we're selecting ourselves to kind of like make it look nice. But we all have very nice collections, I feel.
Yeah, no, I just like a fun, just like A through F or whatever of everybody's collections. Just a little, because like you said, it's not necessarily ones that you love, but just ones that are expensive. So the stuff on my own list is stuff that I do love though. So like obviously I'm going to give myself an A. Where a lot of the stuff on your guys's I either haven't heard of or may not be super into. So I recognize Christian's rarities in there with some of those, especially, maybe some the hard to find Japanese versions or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I think I would give that probably like a strong B, just because I don't know what half of it is, but I recognize that there's value to it. And then Preston, you've got a lot of special editions and like statues and stuff. So again, even though it's stuff I don't know, strong B, because I realize not everybody is going to have some of those special editions. So, and you have Kirby and Star Fox in there. So
I sweetened the load by putting Kirby, Star Fox, and technically a Fire Emblem is in there. So all I needed to do was add a Pokemon in there, and I had your heart even more. So
right.
Yeah.
So if nobody gives a shit about Fire Emblem and Sega Saturn, then mine's not.
Yeah, exactly.
I was literally gonna say, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give Jake an A. I think his is an A. And I was like, and it's specifically because of all of the Sega love that is in his collection. Especially, so I don't own the only thing I haven't went back and bought yet, only because I just don't have the room quite yet, but I don't have a Genesis or a Saturn or a Sega CD or anything along those lines, so I can't go back and pick any of that stuff up. But the Saturn and then also the Sega CD and all this, like, it was such a cool era, mostly because I really respected Sega's ability to just bolt shit on to stuff they already, like, they absolutely gave no fucks. Like, they were just like, go ahead and slot this bad boy in the top of one of your other things, and then you can slot something else on top of that, and now we've given you triple the power, so here you go. Like
32x the
yeah,
CE.
dude. Like, it was so wild the way that, like, I mean, even there's like that meme, right, like the Sonic and Knuckles carts where you did like 10 of them, and then it would just be like, it would show like just it would all run, and so it's so stupid. But I always loved, Nintendo back then was a lot more elegant than Sega's solution, but you could tell Sega. There's always those stories, right, of the Yakuza influence that Sega had back in the day, where it was just very clear criminals working for that company back then, and the type of mindset you have to allow very clear criminals to work for you is also the same kind of mindset you have to like snort a line off a table and be like, fucking let's just like smash as much shit into a single box as we can. So I love old Sega stuff like that, and especially that era is so cool. So
Sega
I
does
love this
and don't.
Yeah absolutely. And then for Preston's, I'm gonna say I'm gonna go. I'll do strong B.
Yeah.
With what we've said, one, like I said, we've all had very good collections so far. And all the games that you had are games that I've played. Now I will say there's games that I know that you used to own at one point, and that if you had those, I would probably just toss you an A like Jake.
Yeah.
And if anything, I should give you a C for being so lackadaisical about...
Done that to myself.
Yeah, I should give you a C for being so lackadaisical about the ways that you've lost them and how you have zero anger harbored towards
letting my
any of these
best
people.
friend borrow my GameCube and all that shit, I didn't think he would just give that shit away without saying anything to me.
Yeah, and you know what? I would be more willing to forgive you for that if I found out that you went on some sort of John Wick-esque escapade to get your money or your money's worth. Yeah, but you just, it's okay, and that's never okay.
I'm like 20 years old. I'm like, I haven't seen those games in forever. I'm like, I want them back now.
Yes.
But yeah, so that is our collections, our top 15 as far as price collections. We do have plenty of other stuff.
Ratings.
Yeah, you gotta rank yours.
I thought I mentioned that I was gonna pretty much do the kind of same as far as Christian is a solid B, a high B, if you will, because there's a lot of games in there that I've never heard of or played. It's very high because I do love the fact that he goes towards those Japanese collections a little more too. I do like that. That's kind of something that I kind of go towards now too. As far as like, if it's something I'm just picking up for fun, not to complete my old collection, like my GameCube. Like every time I go to GameCube stuff, I'm like, all right, where's the games that I had in GameCube? I'm gonna try to pick those up as long as they're not outrageously expensive. Unfortunately, they are nowadays. But yeah, it's nice to see those. Jake, like I said, I would give a solid A to, because I just miss seeing those like Pokemon boxes and the dedication to the Fire Emblem collector's editions.
I'm surprised that inbox copy of Kirby that you picked up recently was not
It was
higher on the
priced properly as far as like it's still like in that $40 range. If we went top 20,
Really?
it might have arrived in there. But a lot of games that I have are around that $30-$40 price range as far as my older games.
That one's absolutely my favorite.
yeah,
of all
it's
the
very
ones that you
cool.
own.
Jake, did you ever see that one?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's oh yeah, I sent it to you. Yeah. It's very cool. That Crystal Shards 64 version. I for a while I didn't think that Price Charting had the Japanese version, but they do have the Japanese version on there.
Big old pink cartridge. Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah, it's just Kirby 64 on there, and then Crystal Shards in Japanese, so it's just Kirby 64 to me.
The biggest takeaway, though, is that my collection's the best. R.I.P.
That is
Bowser.
true, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
The best, the most expensive. I have all the carts, all the best carts.
Yeah.
But yes, that has been our topic. Jake, thank you very much for bringing that topic. There was one thing I do want to ask you. I meant to ask you in the comment corner, but I forgot about it because I didn't write it down, which is why I write things down. But, I've been into Snap a lot lately. There's been some Marvel characters in there that I have no idea who they are, where they're from. For example, like Hell Cow. I never knew there was a character called Hell Cow.
Okay.
Are you aware of Hell Cow?
No, but if it's what I think, there was a mini series about Marvel animals,
Okay.
and I'm assuming it is a cow.
It is a cow. It is a 100% a
Okay.
cow with fire around it and stuff like that. I have no idea anything else other than it discards cards from other people's decks or your deck. So that's all I know.
Is it wearing Hellcat's costume?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
No idea then.
It's just it looks like it's wearing like a Dracula type of cape and has this like cowbell on it, and that's pretty much Hell Cow, surrounded by
Okay.
fire. But the character I was going to ask you about is something that I just got, and the deck has been doing me a lot of good. Who the fuck is Sarah, and why is she so fucking cool?
Sarah?
Sera. She black hair. She's kind of demonic looking. I don't know who she is. I thought you might know who she is. She's a very popular Snap card. She has one of the best performing decks that stays in the meta, has stayed in the meta for the longest time. But I just recently got her, and she's been doing me justice, and I love her. And I have no idea where she's from.
Yeah, she's from. She's one of the angels. So like Angela, Queen of Hell.
Yes, Angela's
that type of
also around. Yeah,
she's gonna be from that series. There was a mini series called Angela, Asgard's Assassin.
okay,
That came out in like probably 2015.
okay.
Just a 5-issue series. I think her first appearance was, probably number one.
Thor,
but yeah, she's just a cosmic angel, so I'm
Gotcha.
sure her abilities are OP.
Yeah, she has. As long as you ever played out there, every one of your cards in your hand has one less cost. So she's fucking super OP, and
Sure.
I love Sarah. Very cool card. Been doing me a lot of justice. Been getting me them cubes, as they would say. Been getting me all them cubes. But yeah, that is it for the episode. Unless anyone else has anything to bring to the table, I say go to bonfire.com/test 2 worlds. Is that the link for your shirt?
I believe so. Yeah.
Or look up
Appreciate that.
Bonfire 2 Worlds or 2 Worlds t-shirt. You might be able to find it that way too.
I'm very mad because my shirt is it's in the dryer right now because we were gone, and so we did. And
Just
it
got it this
came.
weekend,
It came around. So so we got here this week. So we did the laundry. So I was finishing up today, but I picked up the regular style T-shirt and the tank top in both the different shades of blue that are available. So
I think I got blue as well. Yeah,
Appreciate it.
I think I got the blue.
dude, that blue pops. I don't know.
Yeah. I got a
it's-
lot of yellow shirts already, which is the only reason why I didn't get the yellow. So pretty much the only
You have
like
an odd amount of yellow shirts. Not in like a negative. Like yellow is not a bad color at all, but you do have like quite a few.
I don't know why Guacamelee, Thundercat. Like for some reason I keep on getting yellow shirts. So I'm like, okay, it's black and yellow and white are pretty much my shirt colors. So I'm like, let's just put a little more blue in there. This is kind of navy blue.
Yeah.
But still.
We could choose the options, and I was like, we need some fun colors.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
goes
Yeah.
One of these days, testing room will be right behind you. We're always just a little bit behind you. Videos come out a little bit later in the series. We haven't reached 100. We're almost on 100 episodes so far.
we're coming up on our 3-year anniversary.
There you go.
We've been doing it for a while. So
I think we just passed. I think April is when we hit our anniversary, and that would be 2 years for us.
Two, yeah.
Yeah. So
nice.
we're holding in there. We're all doing it. We're not
We're
giving
all
up.
doing it.
We're not getting up. We do it because we enjoy doing it. That's why we do it, ladies and gentlemen. So
yeah, if not for this we would the three of us would still be on this call making fun of Alex for skipping dialogue and hating physical media. So it's not. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And talking about how much more handsome of a host Jake is compared to Alex.
Oh.
Can't wait to hear what he says about that.
Oh, yeah.
Love you dearly.
Yes. All right. Thank you again, Jake, very, very much. I'm sure they will all see you soon on the next installment of Testing Rooms D&D. Do you want to tell them anything more? I mean, they know to look up Two Worlds. When's the next Anime Boys? We're craving the Anime Boys. You said you got them in the can. Or waiting on them.
This week, actually. It's going to drop tomorrow, our Demon Slayer episode.
I have actually just started watching Demon Slayer, so I'm excited. How many episodes did you go through? 6. Okay, so I'll watch the first 6 episodes. I've got the first 2, I think, in the bank. I'll watch the rest.
I feel bad because we recorded it July of last year.
I know you had one for a while.
Yeah, I know. I feel like the ones that we're doing now were like way more in our groove for what we want to do.
Fair.
But after we record, because we're about to record one for Space Dandy, which I fucking loved.
Space Dandy's
phenomenal
cool.
show.
Yeah.
But after that, we're gonna have your boy Christian on for one of the ones that he selected. So
you gonna keep that to yourselves, or is
I don't know which one it is yet.
We don't know either.
Yeah.
We do a random generator,
Really?
so it's just going to be one from the list that he gave me.
Fair enough.
Which is so many. I was like, I remember when he sent me, he was like, just select some from the Downs. I'll do that. And then I think I did like 3/4 of the list. I was like, I would watch any of these again. Yeah.
No, they're all so good.
Very nice.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Alex will give you the plugs at the very end. 2 plugs that I need an update on are the Twitch and the YouTube. So twitch.tv/Testing Room Pod. And then we have youtube.com/Testing Room. Find out all your fun stuff on those links. I'll have the link down there in the corner. If I messed up at all, you will find the correct ones in the video form down there. Otherwise, we will catch you all on the next episode of the podcast, which I think we're going to do another guest on as well. I did get confirmation, Christian, that we will have that guest, so I will let you know who that is as soon as we get done with this episode. And I might make him host it too. We may have him do an Alex thing. I may just continue that joke along every time Alex is gone. Just have someone else
and
host it
then
for me.
kick him out permanently.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Just keep rotating him. We'll have Casey on next time to do the hosting. But yeah, everyone have a great one, and thanks for showing up. And I guess I know what to do. Hit it.
This has been The Testing Room. Music by @DamienCrow on Instagram, logo and art by @RavePet. Interact with us on Instagram and Twitter @TestingRoomPod, or email us at testingroompod@gmail.com. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, and all of your favorite podcasting apps, and make sure to share us with your friends. Thanks, and see you next time.